Okay, here I am. Get everything set up here. Sorry, I tried a late announcement that I was going to be doing anything tonight. Didn't even know myself. But anyway, thought I'd come on. Maybe I should wear my hat. My hair's all messed up, but okay, might as well wear the hat. Okay, yeah, I won't wear the hat. Just have to. Anyway, well, welcome everybody. A few people are showing up. We're going to be talking just more or less a Q&A. I'll be looking at the live chat in a little bit. But we had a bunch of questions come up in the comment section from a few videos back. I thought I'd take time to address them. And that's what we're going to do tonight. And then Q&A. And I invited a few folks to come in at the last minute. If they show up, they show up. If they don't, I'll just wing it. Hopefully somebody will show up. If they don't, they don't. I know one person is on another channel right now on departure channel right now going on. So I know that. So I just hope you all see who else is. Let me look at the live chat. Okay, Jeanette. Okay. Hey, Allie, do you want to come on tonight? I don't know if you can. I can send you a link. Send me email if you can, and I'll send you the link. And if you want to come on, it's up to you. Mark Wolf's here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the graphics. And I'll watch my email too, make sure that I see anything come up in the next few minutes. So anyway, folks, I'm glad people are showing up. So we're going to be talking about, what am I going to be talking about here tonight? So let me bring my whole thing up here. Well, if I try to post these things right at the bottom of the description, and just trying to place it just above sources. And it's a song of the day. You may not like the songs I select or whatever. Some of them are pretty good. I like a sort of a country gospel type sound, bluegrass style sound, and I like different. And I'll put some of the newer stuff up too, and stuff that most people don't listen to. But anyway, there is an interesting song that's out by the Bellamy brothers, sung along with the Isaacs. I don't know if you know who the Isaacs are. Pretty big group. I've seen them many times over the years in concerts and stuff. And some of my wife and I used to love. We love watching them. They're very talented. And I saw them this last a few months ago in Branson. Went down there with some friends and saw some Southern gospel, country gospel, bluegrass gospel stuff, and Isaacs were there. And so this song came out called "Normal Ain't Coming Back, but Jesus," or Jesus is. You should listen to it. I like that song, kind of a snappy little tune. So just if you go back to a lot of the videos, look down and select them and see if you like the music, because it's just how it goes. Let's see if I have anyone coming on. Okay. All right. I'm going to invite Ali here. So let me get that going here. Okay. I'm going to get someone to come on in just a second here. Get the email. I'm going to send this out to Ali real quick. She can join. Okay. Okay, Ali, I just sent you the link. All you have to do is click on the link. I'll see you come up, and I can put you on. Make sure your camera is working and your microphone is working, and we can go. I don't know if Jason K can make it tonight or not. I kind of gave the last minute. Ali's the very last minute. But if anyone shows up, they show up. But that's just how it goes. I forgot to invite Ashley, but her and her family and stuff need time together too. So folks, so let me go ahead and get what we're going to talk about. I'm going to answer a few questions here. The first, I want to be talking about the rapture, because that created quite a controversy. And oh, Allie's here. Hold on, Allie. I'll get you on. I'll bring you on. There's Allie. How you doing, Allie?
Hi, I'm
Oh, I
well. How
gotta
are
get my.
you?
Hold on. I gotta get my earbuds. Oh yeah, I put these on. I forgot.
No worries.
I, I left my earbuds upstairs, so I got to be able to hear you. Okay, I didn't hear you.
No
No,
problem.
okay.
Sorry, it's a little random, but
Okay,
hello.
all right, all right. So if you can moderate and do this, that'll be great. We'll see. So I'm just going to
All
be
right.
answering. I'm going to be doing a few questions right now. Let's see, where's my questions? Bring them up again.
Can you
Okay,
hear
here's.
me okay, by the
I
way?
can
Just
I can hear
okay.
you fine. I think everybody.
Awesome.
Okay, we'll talk. So everybody, this is Ali, one of the
Hello.
moderators, and we'll talk to you in just a second. But I did the video on the Rapture, and I got some questions on my comments. So I thought I'd answer them. And someone said that I was preaching work, so I want to address that. And
Oh.
so someone said that, what about these imprisoned beings, the Greys and the lizard people? I go, okay, we'll talk about that. Politics, Trump,
Mm-hmm.
derangement syndrome, division, Jesus, and through all this, if I ever get a chance, I'll talk a little bit about my book, Heaven Beckons. Um, so the first question I got was the pre-tribulation rapture doctrine is unbiblical fiction. And I'm not going to put
Hmm.
anybody's name up there, but it's like I put the case up there to point out that it's not. So the question comes up, why do people think this? And that's what I want to quickly address. And it came from about 70 AD to 135 AD. 70 AD, the Romans came, destroyed the Jewish temple. That was the first scattering. And then by 135, well, 133 to 135 AD, there was a big Jewish revolt, and they thought this guy was the Messiah, and some of them still do. He's going to come back, whatever. And so that collapsed, and that then the Jewish people were scattered out of the nation of Israel. After that, people
Mm-hmm.
coalesced and put the Bible together, and then when the Bible got the scriptures became together to what we have, our 66 books in the Bible, and when that got in, people got in to start thinking Israel no longer exists. So we're going to bring in this new doctrine that we are the spiritual Israel, that we've taken over the church. God just got rid of the Jewish people. They're never coming back. And that's
Mm.
wrong. It's not Bible prophecy that entered into the
Right.
church. The early church fathers actually mentioned the rapture and talked about this, but but that's how it crept in. The other doctrines came from it. British Israelism, dominionist theory came in. A lot of that's based on ancient pagan stuff, but that crept into the church's mainstream, and that's where that came from. So people will just say there is no rapture. But if you look at what I wrote and you'll see the one is taken and one is left behind, you'll see a partial rapture, which would explain why there are last day saints. I mean, after the rapture is over, when the tribulation starts, there will be people in here who will be getting saved. And so, if you want to add anything, Allie, go right ahead.
No, just in support to what you're saying. I mean, even from, of course, it's apocryphatic, but we look at the book of Enoch, who actually prophesies the coming of the Son of Man, all the
Mm-hmm.
way back to the old literature taken from various parts of the Old Testament, all the way up through the New Testament. And we see that apostles like, Enoch himself, but then also Elijah, who were essentially raptured. Um, that,
Mm-hmm.
that also brings about the questions of who will be the two witnesses. Is it going to be Moses and Elijah? Is it going to be Elijah and perhaps Enoch? We don't know. But all throughout, sprinkled throughout literature, we see the support for a pre tribulation rapture. And I can also actually see a little bit of support that might point more to a mid trib time. We don't really know exactly because we know that we as Christians are going to face some level of persecution leading up to that time frame, but we don't know for sure. So I really do believe and I agree with you that the Bible sets the stage for a pre-tribulation rapture, because why would God essentially want there to be a beaten bride that, I mean, why would that be the case? So
When I got married, I wanted my wife to look good. I didn't want her with
yeah,
broken teeth and a fat lip and the black eyes. And I go, how did
I
you propose
agree.
to her? The preacher would ask me, what did you do to this woman?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I we
but
don't
but
want to
that's
go there.
no, you don't want to go there. So yeah,
Yeah.
so that's in a nutshell. That's where that came from. And the other question that came up was Darby. Darby started the rapture. Well, there is a scripture, and I think it's in Second Thessalonians, Second Corinthians. Oh, maybe I'm mistaken. 2:2. It says, Paul's talking about to people. He says, let their hearts be encouraged, knit together in love, and attaining all the riches of the full assurance of understanding to the knowledge of the mystery of God, both of the Father and of Christ, in whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. And so there's others where the Lord talks about we are in a mystery here.
Hmm.
And I lost your camera, Allie.
Oh, one sec. I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, I'm here. Sorry about
Okay.
that. I was
Okay.
looking something up while you
Okay.
were while you
Okay,
were
yeah, I was
talking, and I
looking
guess
it
I
up too
lost
on
you.
my computer too. I looked down.
Yeah.
Okay, but with now what was I talking about? Okay, okay,
John Darby.
Darby. Darby,
Yeah.
and so there's a mystery in a mystery of the gospel. Mystery, God will reveal things in time. There was a blinder put over the Jewish people. Even to this day, they can't understand the mystery of Christ and stuff. And so
Hmm.
the Lord will reveal things to you. He opened the eyes of the disciples and showed himself where he was written in the scriptures, in the Torah, as well as in the whole Jewish scriptures. And he showed them who he was. And so it's everything's progressive. And the thing is it upset a lot of people's apple cart when the Jewish people came back into the land. It still does to this day. But it is they're a covenant people, and it's true. Not all Israel is of Israel, but there is a remnant that God is saving out amongst those people, and they're part of His time clock. And that's what we got to understand. So Darby, just because he came up with it doesn't mean it's wrong. He didn't really come up with it. He just reiterated some of the older stuff that people believed in before and put two and two together. And it's pretty self-explanatory. And
Hmm.
that's pretty much how I understand it. If you know anything else you can add or not, we'll continue.
Yeah, no, I think that there's a big push for the fact that the whole rapture conundrum came about because of what John Darby in the 1830s or whatever prophesied that would occur. And what people don't seem to realize is that it is like you were saying, we see sprinkles of the rapture illusion through the whole course of the Old Testament all the way up through the New. And I think that this is really sort of a ploy to deceive people to the truth. And it almost kind of feeds back to the whole doctrination of all of these different doctrines and ways to separate us, to divide us from the truth of God, which is clearly written. And you look throughout scriptures from Second Thessalonians all the way through the book of Revelation, back even stemming towards parts of Genesis, even through the apocryphal text, like the book of Enoch. People will say that's not canonized. I understand that. But this is not something that John Darby invented. This was something that was pre written per the disciples through the word of Jesus and the Bible itself. And if it were a lie, we would not see so many documented instances of various folks being raptured themselves.
Oh
And
yeah.
I mean, you and that to me is like, how can people deny that when they're saying, okay, well, God took Elijah, God took Enoch. And we don't really learn so much about Enoch through the text. We learn a lot about Moses. We learn a lot about other disciples throughout the text of the Bible, but Enoch is kind of a mystery. And I think that that's very interesting too, in and of itself, that we don't
Mm-hmm.
really hear so much about him, even Methuselah as well. But that's a fact. I mean, those two were in fact raptured. So,
Mm-hmm.
and you look too at Lot and Sodom and Gomorrah, and the fact that he was removed from that situation when, the angels were about to destroy the city, and they were led out of Sodom and Gomorrah, basically. Um, God is not going to put his people through this time of wrath that is about to endure upon this earth. It's going to be unlike any time we have ever seen as humanity. And we are seeing the lead up of that now. This the whole struggle that we're facing with the war with Israel, with Iran, with all of the various wars and rumors of wars that we're seeing throughout this whole world, it's not happenstance. And this is a time as Christians where we need to be aware. It's almost like God saying, hey, you guys need to wake up because prophecy is unfolding before our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we have much more time.
I
I
don't either.
really don't.
I don't either.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I often throw this out and bounce it off of you, but it says Jesus said, he warned us, as it was in the days of Noah, and as it was in the days of Lot. You have Noah
Hmm.
was lifted above the waters, taken up, and Lot had to get out. It was still on the land. Could that possibly be the rapture and the others?
Yeah,
So that's a
that's a
good.
very
I never
interesting
thought of it as you
point.
were talking. Kind of dropped in my head. I go, that's a good question to ask.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
very,
know the
very
answer, but
true.
it is a good symbol.
I
Righteous Lot
know.
was vexed. All these people are vexed by what's going on, and then they miss it. Then they have to. Well, God will get them through. Probably
Yeah.
in a better shape than Lot did.
Yeah, I know. And we think about what that means, not really existing during that time, during the days of Noah. I often wonder what exactly did that entail? What was he enduring during those days? I mean, we knew that there was a great flood prior to the rain. They were actually having water come up from the earth to feed the plants and to provide that water system prior to the rain unfolding. But people's hearts were evil continuously. The love for many had grown cold. But of course, that's kind of generalized because we can equate that to really any point throughout history. And especially, people will say, looking back at World War II, for instance, that would have been the time where if we were thinking that the end was about to unfold, that would have been that time. But of course, Israel yet had not become a nation, not until 1948. We hadn't seen the advancement of technology unfolding um, upon the earth at that time too. There's things like little things, but actually really kind of crazy things if you think about it. Fish returning to the Dead Sea, foxes returning to the Temple Mount. We have the Euphrates River drying up. We have an ability for humans to communicate, like the gospel being spread worldwide, whereas before we were reliant primarily upon missionaries that would go to various locations to spread the word of God, but now it's instant. I mean, we've never had so many things unfolding to the level that they are today. So I think, like, what did the days of Noah really mean? And that's one of the things I've been pondering lately because I wasn't around then. None of us were. So,
Yeah.
like, what does that mean exactly? I mean, because outside of what we learned in Matthew, we don't we don't really have so many clues. I mean, we learn a little bit in Matthew and Luke and throughout the books of Daniel and even Isaiah and Ezekiel, where essentially the church has led God to wrath because he's so mad
Yeah.
that they're not focused on the things that they should be focused on. And we see that a lot today, in America especially. But I know I'm throwing a lot at you.
No,
It's
no,
one of
that's
those
good.
things I've been wondering, like, what does that mean exactly? Days of Noah.
Yeah, yeah. I just take it as it was in the days of Noah. People. It goes back to Daniel. They run to and fro. Jesus is describing them running to and fro, busy with their own lives, but not paying attention. And
Hmm.
that's one thing. And also, we have iron not mixing with the clay. The Nephilim coming back, and so I would have probably liked this movie back in the day, but in 1988, John Carpenter came out with the movie They Live.
Oh
I think,
yeah, yeah,
and
I've heard of that.
I saw it on Prime, and I saw it. Yeah, but then I didn't realize how violent it got. I took it to my brother-in-law's house. Well, oh my,
Oh,
they don't like violent movies. I go, oh, I'm so sorry. I should have screened the movie. But anyway, um, it was a good movie. There's one last scene I don't like about it. The very last scene I don't approve of. But you know, but but it was, they live, and in there they quote a little quote from Alice Bailey about the year 2025, that they're in this way, and they say by the year 2025 we will have taken over.
oh wow, that's interesting, right?
I thought the symbolism and stuff was so well done.
Hmm.
Besides the guy saying, "I'll come here to chew bubble gum and kick you know what," but it is a
Uh,
violent movie. But and so there's some scenes I wouldn't. The two protagonists, they're beating each other up for too long. Come on, they should show us some other stuff, not that stuff. But anyway,
yeah.
anyway, it was yeah,
They
it
always
was
seem to do that. Have you noticed, like,
yeah.
well, there will be these rumors, things we read. Well, not rumors, but biblical truth, and it seems like the enemy obviously doesn't know when things are going to unfold. He doesn't know the specifics. He's not all knowing. He's not
Mm,
omnipresent, omnipotent, whatever. But I think he knows the timeline of the days of which we are in, and it is a part of Luciferianism where they have to disclose what they're going to do
yep,
before they do it. So they can
that
turn around and actually say, "Oh no, you're crazy. We didn't mean it that way." Like, so it promotes a sort of system of chaos and confusion, which further advances their agenda. But what I find very interesting is they always seem to find a way to promote what they're about to do through their releases of these movies.
mm,
And you think about like the movie with the robots and Will Smith. I can't remember the name of it.
I Robot.
Yeah, that's the
I
one.
Robot. Yeah.
Or they even had a movie called Troll, which
Mm,
was like there was a scene in it where the giant was eating a praying Christian, and as he was eating this Christian, he's like, "Oh, it's a Christian, their blood." Like he found joy in that. So I'm like,
mhm.
it's it's all a clue. And then we have this new Disclosure movie that's coming out from
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg, and I'm like, this
Uh-oh.
isn't. Yeah, there's something to this.
Yeah, there is, and you're right. The occult world broadcasts its stuff before it comes out in movies, literature. Uh, they do it in order to acquire power. I don't know how I can't really describe it. It's like it's a grimoire, or whatever you want to call it, and it's to acquire power to carry it out, and it's sort of like we'll deceive them,
Hmm. Yeah,
and we pulled this over. It's like this power trip that comes on them or something.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. Go to Nashville if you want to see a lot of symbolism. That stuff is all over the place there. Hmm.
wow. So interestingly, you mentioned the Nephilim too. And one of the things that I was thinking about recently, and I don't know if you've ever considered this or if it's crazy, but you know how there's been historically throughout time, we've had this collection of various bones. You'll see it like in newspaper articles that were collected. But then there's a cover up. There's, the Smithsonian or someone ends up taking these bones and disposing of them. And we don't really know what happens to them because the people that find them, there's no trace of it. It's almost like the bones are removed. And I was thinking the other day, I'm wondering if those bones are being removed and put into some sort of repository, so to speak, because of all of the occult influence, where maybe there's going to be a way to conjure them. And we think back to the book of Ezekiel and the dry bones, and how, this sort of re-immersion of those
Mhm.
bones into the bodies and the flesh or whatever. It was just kind of a connection that I thought about, like, is the reason why they're taking them to bring them about later through whatever means, and it would have to be through some form of witchcraft or occult means.
Or they can extract the DNA, and
Yes.
yeah, they can do that. That's what I thought. I mean,
Hmm.
they have evidence that these bones existed, these giant bones, and different sizes. And the ones they confirm are 9 to 12 to 14 foot tall, but they don't. They kind of quiet about how other things, how big they are. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just interesting. And when you find them, suddenly somebody comes and gets and takes them from you. It's just automatic. Yeah, it's just it's weird, but that's what they do. And so that brings
Yeah.
his other question. He goes, there's three types of alien looking demons. There's a person was saying on the question, and there's one like gray, other like had several heads. One was amphibian or lizard looking, and then you have the Nordics, and then you have the, well, we call the Nephilim here. That when they asked that question too about the Nephilim, and
Hmm.
so the Nephilim would be probably these. Who knows? These people could be extracting the DNA. I know. You know, it's sick, but you got to look at Epstein's ranch at that Zorro Ranch and where they're doing experimentation genetics. It was
Yeah.
all about creating a master race. It's all about eugenics. It's all about living forever. I mean, it's sick. I had to stop reading. It was making me sick to my stomach. But
I know it's horrible, but it's all like Solomon was saying. There's nothing new under the sun, and
mm-mm.
what what has been will be again, basically.
Yeah, it's like that movie. They're all sitting in that conference room, and the rich elites and the aliens. Look, and they're going to take over. It was so that part was so clever that there's more truth in that. In the year 2025, well, they'll
Yeah.
probably be taking. We'll have everything under. Everything will be taken over.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't it's but you have to think too, like, so many of these people that are involved in all of this mess, and these forms of sacrifice and these conjurings, and you're talking about people in Hollywood, politicians, the world's elite, basically, and it
Hmm.
ties back to Hillary Clinton and the destroying of evidence from her computer, and ties to the Nephilim. And you think that traditionally, anytime there's been, I guess, from a secret uh, clearance type of level, anytime there's been an interest in the giants, it's been quickly covered up, is my understanding. That they, through
Yeah.
the research I've done on this topic, that it's like it's a level above where the aliens have been
Yeah.
traditionally. Uh,
It's
the
the
question,
same conclusion as L.A. Marzulli. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I love him, by the way. I really like.
I interviewed him once. I want to get him back. I promise to give him a bag of pistachios. So if you're listening, LA,
Yeah, yeah, please join us. That would be awesome.
yeah,
He's a wealth of information. And so is Vicki Joy Anderson. I don't know if you listen to her very much, but I like her as well. Very
I
knowledgeable.
haven't listened to her yet. I'll have to look that up. So
Yeah.
yeah, just send me the name and link and stuff. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be good. Always looking for new stuff, but So the next question goes about imprisoned beings who hate us. So, Brian, do you have any thoughts on why we as humans have been subject to these imprisoned beings who who are here who hate us and remain hidden, so that our warfare is of a great disadvantage to us? And that's a good question. I don't even know how to begin to answer that, but we were talking about the Nephilim and the spirits and the people behind it. I call it deception. I don't know what else to say. We do have spiritual weaponry to wage against it, but I was praying about it and then trying to figure out how should I teach on spiritual warfare or something. And then I had a dream. I woke up just before I woke up. I had this dream, and it was in Book of First John came to me, and let's see, I'll go to it here, and it and I never saw this before. I don't know why. I read this hundreds of times, got underlined it, and even translated this whole chapter. So where was that? Okay. It says, verse 4 and 5 of First John chapter 5. Whoever's born of God overcomes the world. And this is the victory that has overcome the world, our faith. I remember translating this, and there's a word in here that's not translated. It's actually the word it'll be o or ho in Greek. It would be depending on the pronunciation. It can mean thee or this or whatever. And he goes, who has overcome the world will be this our faith. He's speaking to the people there. Our faith. Who is he who overcomes the world but he who believes in Jesus is the Son of God, our faith. And then he goes on, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he goes down here, talks about the gospel, and he goes over here. And this is in verse 14. This is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. And if we know that he hears us, and whatever we ask, we know that we have the petitions that have asked of him. Those were the verses that I saw in my dream, and I go, and I got the download on it. Was like, the church is divided. That's another question that came up about how the church is divided and split up, I guess, there. And so it's like, it's a group of people in one particular church. It doesn't, and they don't have to be. It's not a perfect church, but they're one heart and mind to present the gospel. They want the gifts of the Spirit. They don't want wackiness and craziness. They don't want all the bad doctrine and all that crap creeping in. They just love Jesus and want to serve him. And Jesus says, if you are as a body of believers, no, if it's two or more, I'm in the midst. If there's more, hundreds, thousands,
you
can set your mind to defeat these things. That's what he's saying. Because you're
Yeah.
one mind, you can do spiritual warfare against that. And so I'm mulling that over how to articulate that in a teaching. But I think that the church has been too fragmented, and we know a lot about spiritual warfare, but are we in any group of people united? You know, I know some people in some churches, and they go there and about ready to pull their hair out because it's like there's too many cooks in the pot and spoiling the mess.
Yeah, I agree. It's almost like, too, that people are seeking truth. They're looking for the things that are less, I guess, easy to discuss. They're looking for elements of truth that are outside of the traditional Jesus loves you, turn to Jesus, he'll save you, put your faith in Jesus. They want the answers because, I mean, let's be real, we're going through times that are unprecedented, things that we really, as a generation or even generations, have never seen before. And we know that the birth pains are only going to continue to increase. And one of my struggles is I know that God made us to have a choice and he wanted us to seek him. He said that my people perish for a lack of knowledge. But it's almost like we know that we're going to see deception, but the level of deception that we're seeing, how can we be exposed to such sneakiness almost to the point of, if it were possible, even the elect would be deceived? I feel like we are gearing up to that time. And it's almost like I sometimes find myself wondering, I know that we don't have all of the knowledge. So how are we to obtain that knowledge? And so is it a matter of, do you know your enemy? Do you research and you find out what is he doing so that you can be more likely to pray against the things that you're
Yes.
about to endure? But then we also know that that tends to work better collectively, because the prayers of the people shall pray, and I will revive their nation. I don't have that verse
Yeah.
100%
Yeah.
correct,
Chronicles.
but yeah,
Chronicles.
but
Chapter
and
7.
I
Something.
think
Yeah.
right, it's almost like if my people call unto me and repent, I will have mercy upon their nation, or I will restore their nation, I believe is a more accurate term. But it seems like, this has been a very valuable tactic of the enemy, is that he has introduced this level of deception, this level of division amongst the church, where we have so many different denominations, and the Baptists hating the Catholics because the Catholics believe in purgatory and they pray to Mary, whereas the Baptists are so judgmental, and they
And
they
the
can't
First
but look
Baptists don't
past
like
what
the
Betty's
second.
doing.
Yeah, the First Baptists don't like the Second Baptist or the Third Baptist or the Independent Baptist. They don't like each other.
Yeah, yeah, and it's interesting because I had a dream. You mentioned about having a dream. And I'll make it quick, but basically, I was in a museum, and I was in front of three different statues. One was of Buddha, one was of the Hindu god that was an elephant, and another was of this series of circles, which I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what it was at the time. But then all of a sudden, I see people outside. It was this like big glass windows, and the people outside were running from something, and they were running so far and screaming. And then all of a sudden, these statues melted one by one. The Buddha melted, the Hindu god melted, the circular one melted. And I'll get to what that was. And then there were these demon knights that were exposed, and they all looked at me. And then Jesus came in, and he laid his hand upon me, he kissed my forehead, and he said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." So I researched it. That circular god was like this scientific religion, which
Mm-hmm.
it was, I can't remember the name of it exactly, I'll have to get that to you later, but it was a merging of science, Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. And I thought that
Kabbalah.
was pretty telling. Yes, because it was basically what the New World Order is
Mm-hmm.
attempting to disclose. And so I prayed about it, because after I had that dream, I had no idea what it meant. He put me to Ezekiel, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7 to 10, I believe it was. And it was all about the the acts of the church, and how they were going against God. They were basically like, the priests had their backs turned to God, and they were doing these things to defile the Lord. And God basically poured out his wrath upon the people. And he was saying to Ezekiel, "Look, for what they do, they're turning against me." And how there was this division in the church, and how it was leading to this deception, which was essentially going to result in his wrath being unleashed. It was really deep and
Hmm.
pretty eye opening.
Yeah.
So,
So it
yeah,
coalesces with what he's been showing me for several years, is the deception. And I keep telling, I go, how
yes,
can I explain this deception? And and it,
yeah,
one of the deceptions is that the entire church needs to be unified. No, just a small group, one, two, three, four people, 100, 1,000, the better. But
yeah,
but a small group of intercessors can turn things around. And they're all
yeah,
one heart, one mind. And most intercessors groups that I've gone through over the years, they're not too united. They're talking about barber's hangnail and someone's makeup is not being on the right color face or whatever. They have it's not, that lipstick
yeah.
was just too red.
Can you
The,
imagine?
oh yeah, and that pastor had a piece of spinach in his tooth. He never even brushes
Yeah.
his teeth. They talk about strange things. It's like,
Yeah,
or the color.
I know. we're
Well,
focused on all the wrong things. I mean, we're not, and I think that's true too. Like if you go through certain parts of the world, we tend to see that there's like a strict presence or a strict reliance upon the occult and other
mm,
cultures, parts of Africa, even parts of Eastern Europe, where they know the power of the spirit. They know that this power exists. But we as Christians, I think that as a majority, we tend to ignore it. We
mhm,
tend to say we're comfortable and we think, oh, just oh, of course. I mean, we have faith and we rely on Him, but I think that too we are to know what we're battling. We
mhm,
need to not be deceived and not be misled, and understanding that these things really do exist. Why God allows us to go through these types of trials, to go through this level of evil. That's something, like I said, I've been pondering. I don't know if I have a good answer for that,
well, we can talk about it because the
but
next part of the question deals with that. Is and this person
mm,
writes, and even though Jesus won the victory on the cross, we're still fighting a war blindfolded. That's exactly what we're talking about.
yeah,
I still
yeah,
can't wrap my
very
mind
true.
around what's really happening here and why, and that's what we're trying to discuss. Because I saw this on the comments a few videos back. I said I gotta talk about this one. So,
Hmm.
and Tag, you're
Very good
it.
question. Very good question. It's one of those things I've wondered as well. I mean, he's died for us. He shed his blood for us, and essentially every time we sin, we're putting him back on that cross. So if you've already died, why exactly are we to undergo the level of sin that would crucify you again? Why are we not kept?
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the things that a lot of times people don't seem to realize is that we are not only learning as humanity about the realm of the spirit, but we have a group of angels that was created before us.
Mm-hmm.
Where I don't want to say that we're a test species or anything like that, but I will say in my pondering of understanding of all of this is that essentially everything we do, whether right or wrong, God is going to use for His glory, and He will redeem us. His glory will be served. But through the process of that, and through the fall, through sin and being introduced upon the world, basically after Adam and Eve sinned, and it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't Eve, it was Adam that had the covenant with God that broke that covenant upon
Mm-hmm.
sin. But we have to be able to choose right from wrong, not just because obviously Jesus paid the ultimate price through his death, but that doesn't take away the fact that there are consequences to our actions. Now, why he allows those acts to unfold even after the fact, I have to think it goes back to what I was saying before. The angels are learning from us,
Mm-hmm.
and we are helping them to understand that even though we fail, even though we sin, that many of us will continue to rely on God through faith. And why is that important? Because He not only loves us, He loves them too. That's one of the things, like, we collectively as a group of the kingdom of God, it's not just humanity. There's angels involved. There's a much higher order of spirituality through His development of His
Mm-hmm.
kingdom that has to be considered. And I think we're all learning from one another. So, what are we going to do in times of tribulation? Are we going to rely on God? It's kind of like, the what is it? Well, with Job,
Mm-hmm.
Job, like, he didn't know why he was being tested. He's a perfect example. He had leprosy. His wife left him. His wife said, "Curse God."
Mm-hmm.
His friends were like, "What are you doing, man? What's going on here?" Like,
Yeah.
his kids died. He lost his home. He lost his livestock. And he's like, "God, why?" And God's like, "Don't question me." Basically, is what he was told. And I don't have the verses in front of me, but basically that there's a higher level of understanding that you do not know. So trust in me,
Yeah.
is the message that was received. And it was all due to, I don't want to say a bet, because God doesn't have to make bets.
It's a
But
war.
why would he have allowed Satan to even impose that question to begin with? Well, if well, Job only loves you because you bless him so much. Why would God have taken him up on that if he didn't want to show the angels or other people after Job that no? I mean, it's because no matter what you go through, there will be people that will continue to love me and honor me and put
Yeah,
their faith into me. It's my glory, not yours, basically. I don't know if
yeah.
that makes sense.
It makes
But
perfect sense. Yeah, I wrote in
yeah,
my, I
just
wrote in my book Heaven Beckons about Job, but
oh, yeah.
yeah, but it's a spiritual war. This is what the Lord showed me. It
Mhm.
is a spiritual warfare. Angels are involved in it too. You can read about it in Revelations. Some are on God's
Yeah.
side, the other on the other side, and the devil got away with rebellion by pitting God's character traits against each other. So if you look at Job in that light, you begin to see um, what was going on, and it was like, oh, God, you favored him. You can't favor anybody, or whatever.
Mhm.
But what did he saw Satan coming up to him and says, "Oh, I see you've been considering Job. He's a righteous guy. He's a righteous man. So when he spoke, that was going to come to pass. Whatever God comes out of his
Yeah.
mouth, and so right there, the devil is already defeated. And
Right.
he told him, says, you can't take his life, but and so the game was on, and so we're caught up in this cosmic war, unfortunately, and
Mhm.
Job was fighting blindfolded, and but we are not blindfolded because we have Jesus now. We see this, and there's a lot of things that happen in the world. This is why I always ponder. I go, how could Polycarp be so joyous about being martyred? I just couldn't understand it for years, 20, 30 years. I'm going, why are
Mm.
these people talking about it? And I go, it dawned on me. They understood. They understood that if
Mhm.
they are attacked and they die, they go to heaven. But it's like, I am testifying against evil. I am proving what evil is, what evil does.
Yeah.
That's why God highly favors that. And that's why this stuff happens. That's what happened to Job, too. Job was exonerated. He got double portion at the end.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
he had a little bit of self-righteousness too in him, because he was doing things, sort of a works-based type salvation there for, and yeah, that's why the
Yeah.
devil was considering him. But that was all straightened out. But the great suffering was that God carries out his word. He called them, what it was, that righteous. Let me go back in Job and look at it real quick. Yeah, it says, verse Job 1. And then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him, a blameless and upright man who fears God and shuns evil?
Mhm.
And it's like, he just spoke it. You just lost. And the devil is saying,
Yeah.
does God fear God for nothing? He says he fears. Yes, this risk. Does he respect you for nothing? In other words, it's quid pro quo. That's what the devil's saying. That's how the devil thinks. It's all
Yeah.
it's all about power. It's like, uh, have you not put a hedge around him and done all this stuff? Take it away. And he
Yeah.
enticed God to do that because he's playing God's character traits. And God can't deny his
Exactly.
and deny his character traits, and he's gonna he wins. And so if you look at it in that
Yeah.
light, the book of Job begins to make a lot more sense. And then you have the three people, because for three friends come in there, and they have all. I mean, I've been down and out, and I had my Job comforters too.
Yes. Those that
And
didn't
yeah,
abandon you.
yeah.
Oh, praise the Lord.
But you
But
didn't, yeah. And
yeah.
so that's one of the reasons why that is. So we may be like we're fighting blindfold, but we get a hold of the devil is deceptive. He pits God's character traits against each other. He does that in all political ideologies.
Mhm.
He does it in just humanity, and you can't, even Saul Alinsky wrote about it, make your opponent live up to their own standards. They can't. Always ridicule them until they capitulate. Those were the two
Hmm.
rules of the radicals, which unfortunately I had to read and when I was younger, then went to college, and that was one of our textbooks.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Oh,
social work department to be so communistic, but it sure was.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Oh gosh. Well, and we think too that there is, I think that there is an element of the spiritual realm that we just don't fully understand in terms of the legalities and
mhm,
what it meant when Adam broke the covenant with God, when he introduced sin upon the earth. I don't know that that can be undone
mm-mm,
until there be a certain level of rectification, so to speak, that takes place through whatever means that are necessary, legally speaking,
mhm.
spiritually, legally speaking. And so there's that element as well that we would have to consider, why would God feel the need to prove himself? If you're reading it, it kind of comes across that way. Why would you sort of essentially engage Satan in a bet to have to
It
feel the need to
really
prove
wasn't a
yourself? You're
really.
God.
I don't see it as a bet.
Yeah,
I don't see it as a bet. I see it as a
exactly. But
challenge.
that's an
It,
argument I've heard.
well, that is,
Yeah, why
it's
would
not a
you
bet. It's sort of like, what he's doing.
a
It's
challenge?
just a scripture. The angels look into the things of salvation. I think that's Hebrews or something. I can't remember this verse. And so
Hmm.
the Lord's going to show us the salvation. We have to learn what evil is.
Right.
And so, unfortunately, so do the angels. And
Yes.
and then from what I gather from the Bible, basically, and I can't, I don't have a whole lot of time to go to big dissertation about it, but he seals us after we die. We're not going to fall into that sin. We learned it. How else can you learn not to sin? I mean, what
Hmm.
sin is, so you learn to hate it. And I see the
Right.
wisdom of God in that. Even in the book of Job, I see that. And that's a level of like it says in the Bible, his ways are way above ours. I mean, his ways are past finding out because he has a plan, he has a purpose, and he's going someplace, and we're part of it. And I'd rather be on his
Hmm.
side than the other.
Me too.
It's like I
Absolutely.
watch, I've been a part of that side too long, when I was younger, and I don't want to go back there. And the people practicing the occult and stuff, and the damage it does to your psyche and all that stuff, man, it's just amazing. But yeah,
Yeah.
but and then this person goes on, politics aside, the point is that there is far more to worry about than how to decide to label ourselves. That's nothing more than a tactic of division implemented by Satan himself. And so
Yeah.
that's his main thing, is through the deception, is to divide the church into fractions, get them to believe that all churches, denominations must be of one mindset, and uh, and all become an eye, all become a mouth, all become a hand, and they can't decide.
Hmm.
If the hand's greater than the right hand and left hand. Are you a derriere Christian? Are you what? You got to be a brain like us. And so if you think that unity means that, it doesn't. It says we come to the unity of the faith means a congregation, especially in the book of Ephesians. We come to the unity of the faith. You get together in the
Hmm.
unity of the faith, that small church, which I wrote this down. Revival amongst the persecuted uh, uh, always happened because they had to pray, they had to do warfare,
Yeah.
and they kept it going, and they survived by revival comes through this conflict, and so they were put in small groups, and they had to pray, and they saw
Hmm.
results. And sometimes, if they die, you have to learn this in the tribulation saints. If when you're called and you die, you are exposing evil for what it is, but you got a great reward.
Yeah.
And so that's something that we
Exactly.
don't think about, because our vision is limited here by the tactic of division, where the whole church, the Baptists are not going to be friends with the third or fourth Baptist or the independent Baptist. They're going to find something to
Yeah.
fight over. And
Yep.
traditional Methodists are not going to be in unity with the more liberal weirdos, and
Yes.
the Anglican spirit filled Anglicans are not going to get along with the other Anglicans in their denomination either. And so you can't.
Hmm.
So the idea of unity is it's just the congregational unity where you believe in that, and then so and then another part of the deception I've discovered is that, and I don't find fault because I've done it myself. We look for self help books. We look for preachers are always looking for the latest, greatest thing of how to bring a congregation together. And I don't know how to do
Hmm.
that. I mean, I've been doing this for I started first ministry I ran was 1988 to 1998, 10 years at a jail ministry, prison ministry. I went to different
Hmm.
churches and and I'm not saying this to boast of myself, but for some reason, when in my even no matter what job I had, except for the very first jobs, but when I started really working, I was always made a supervisor, not by choice. I did not want to be a supervisor. I always wanted to be the grunt, so I can goof like the rest of them.
I
And so
understand.
they always make me the boss. And the supervisor, I
Yeah.
get paid well, so I just handled people. I just led by example, and
Hmm.
so I do the ministry. That's how I do the ministry. How I train people is the same way, and it's effective. I just let the Lord do it. My prayer is, Lord,
Yep.
I have no idea what I'm doing. Help.
Put me where you need
I
me.
don't have to write a self-help book and try to make a bunch of money and sell it to pastors. You got to,
Yeah.
and I found out the Lord will bring some certain people to you. They'll come and go, but certain people will sit and pray with you, and you get this vision up,
Hmm.
and you get the idea what spiritual warfare is. And so pastors have a hard job because you got congregation. They don't want to get into spiritual warfare. They want the fluff
Yeah.
stuff and the cookies and the milk and the ice cream and
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, that's not, and I don't know how we got to that point, honestly. Like, it seemed like there was a fear of that, even from the early disciples, that there would be wolves amongst the
mm-hmm,
congregation that would skew the message. And there was a fear of this, but it's like, how have we gotten to the point that we are today? If you really think about it, like, what has happened to us? We're in a hot mess.
only thing is knowledge has increased.
Yeah. Knowledge has increased so much to the point that we made ourselves completely ignorant and in many
Yeah, that's
cases
right.
dumb.
The answer could be as simple as that. It could really be that simple. I think we got too
Well, we're
technical.
not very smart to begin with. So.
No, no. And humanity always makes the same mistakes over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's
And
interesting.
yeah, and so yeah, that's an interesting thing. I don't understand it. I just know that we have to do the spiritual warfare. Hopefully, I can get this series together and try to convey that message a little bit better. And it's pretty much what everybody knows about spiritual warfare, but it'll be a little different. And I'm
Hmm.
working on that. So, especially when I was studying the occult, how they are small groups, but they are united,
Yeah, very
and
much so.
they use they call it their, well, you can call it whatever, their energy they tap into, and they're all in
Hmm.
one accord, and they that's how they spell cast, and some of it's pretty sick stuff, but they do it. So
Yeah, well, even if you think about the Tower of Babel too, that they were, I mean, God had to come down and stop them. And then he
hmm
had to confuse their languages because they were getting to the point there where if they continued, they could achieve essentially anything because of
hmm
their unification. And so
hmm
then we have, it's interesting if you think of it from that level too, that I don't know, maybe that has something essentially to do with it where
hmm
uh,
Yeah, it probably does. It probably does. Probably more likely it does, because
Yeah.
I just looked back at what I saw in hell was the deception, the other deception of what these creatures do, and I call them creatures. I call them critters. I don't know what else to say. But what they
Yeah.
do to people, how they deceive them, and how easy it is to be deceived by these things, even in the church, is absolutely amazing. And we get the false prophets, false teachers, and all that, and all these bad doctrines. It's it, that, and it's designed to stain the name of Christ. It's like a Job challenge, actually. Did you really make these people
Mhm.
righteous? And and the devil's throwing all kinds of stuff our way, and it's like, and but God, He raises up a remnant.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help people get this mindset about prayer. And a lot of people are alone; they're by themselves, or maybe one or two people. That's all you need is one or two with you to get together, start praying. And I'll be teaching on the subject a little bit better than I have before on spiritual warfare, but show you some things. And so someone asked me, says, "Why do you always tell the devil to back off, Jack?" Well, it's the modern version of "Get behind me, Satan."
Yeah, exactly.
Get out of here, back off in the name of Jesus.
Right. And I think that it's so important too, because sometimes people will say, why is it so important to pray when God knows my needs? And of course he does know our needs, but at the same time, one of the things I've said before is we have to speak our prayers into existence, because that's what
Mm-hmm.
activates the spirit realm to
Mm-hmm.
respond.
Mm-hmm.
Angels respond to provide a message. They work essentially through orders of God. And so we think about that. If our prayers are what activate the spirit realm, then we need to be praying more. And where two or more are gathered in my name, there in the midst shall I
Mm-hmm.
be. So that unification, and like you were saying, small groups, even don't forsake the assembling of God. It's not about, oh, I can't find a church that fits my needs. I don't feel like I'm getting the word of God there. I've had to really kind of tell myself is I might not always like the message. It might seem a little bit too cotton candy for me. I want to delve into the specifics. I want to talk more about something other than for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, so that whoever shall believeth in him shall not perish but have eternal life. It's like the only thing you seem to hear. It's like John, first and second John, and like,
Yeah.
and nothing against first and second John, but I have heard enough of that. Let's get back into Ezekiel and Daniel. Let's focus on the prophecy, the signs of the times of which we're living. Because are you people even alive right now? Like, can you see, that people are so focused on Fox News and CNN and
Mm-hmm.
whatever, like what President Trump is doing. I don't care. None of that matters. Like, we need to be getting into the specifics. There's an urgency. I don't know if
Yeah.
you felt it, but it's been on my heart.
There
Like,
is a
my
big
people need to know.
There's a big
Yeah.
urgency, and I kind of feel that. And
Yes.
yeah, and here we have to remember this deception. Uh, uh,
Mm-hmm.
when we there is power in in your speaking. It is scriptural, but the
Yes,
devil
it
comes with a
is.
deception and perverts it so nobody will do it.
Mm-hmm.
And people get mad when I say, I ask the Lord, Lord, I don't know what to do. Would you send some angels out and do this, that, and the other? Just go out. People go, oh, you can't do that. I go, I'm not worshiping angels. This is how you do spiritual warfare. I mean, all
Yeah.
because somebody came in with a bad doctrine about angels, they shut everything down. That's how the devil works. He mirrors the works of God, perverts them, and so you don't do
Right.
the real. I mean, life and death are in the power of the tongue. So if I got married, I browbeat my wife with my mouth, I'm going to destroy her. Just my word.
Mm-hmm.
And she no, I build her up. I speak good things to her before she passed
Yes,
away,
like
it's like,
blessings.
and
You're
blessings
right.
and stuff. And um, and we didn't, we just don't tear each other down and stuff. And I mean,
Yeah,
I know people I counseled, and they in really dysfunctional homes, and it's like, well, look at the damage it did to them. They feel lower than low, or they're real egotistical, or whatever the case may be, and um, they're messed up because of what was spoken to them. So words do have power to crush your life, to break your heart, and
absolutely.
um,
Hmm.
sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will always destroy me. I mean,
Yeah,
the
very
the
true.
devil's doing a real good job, and it's coming out. It's coming to a in politics ahead, and we are cascaded as conservatives, Christians, whatever, as the vermin and the enemy of all that exists. And so now you got 3 assassination attempts on Trump. You have
Hmm.
multiple. Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and we're constantly being attacked. And then we got to go, oh well, your side does it too. Grow the
Yeah,
I'm saying, grow the hell up.
yeah,
Your side's
yeah,
doing a hell of a lot
I
more than
agree.
anyone else does. So shove it where the sun don't shine. And I'm going to talk
Yeah,
right
what
back to
about
your
the
thing.
73 million babies that you've killed?
I don't hear Mike
Like,
Johnson say, "Let's have a revolution. Let's."
uh-huh.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, it's
and
horrible.
it's horrible. And so
I know.
these people are. So that's part of the deception. That's how all this
Mhm.
works, and it gets people worked up in this fighting mood, and the devil feeds off of fear, hate, division, and strife. It says it in the book of James, where where
Yeah.
division and strife, and there's every evil work is there. You open the door for the
Well,
devil.
and the sad thing is like you were talking about with Alice Bailey, and even what we see with Agenda 30, they're telling us
Mm-hmm.
what they're gonna do. They've told us all along what they are going to do. Infiltrate with the corruption of the nuclear family and the children, and introducing this
Mm-hmm.
LGBT,
Mm-hmm.
ABCD, whatever agenda that you're going to employ to incite
Mm-hmm.
confusion, and the confusion with the transsexual movement and all of that other stuff, where you have kids that are going through highly intense pain after they realize the decisions they've made through their developing bodies. You have all of this abortion. You have just there's so much chaos. And then you throw in the wars and the rumors of wars and the signs in the heavens and the alien deception. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
how are we not to a point where people need to be paying attention?
Yeah.
And they've told us all along. So, I mean, I think it, I think it's a really good thing that I feel like God is using social media. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
the devil is too, but we are not, as a body, we're not receiving these types of messages through the church, traditional church. When I go to my Sunday sermon, I'm not learning about acts of spiritual warfare, but in order to really learn about that, I've had to research more on the occult side, which is not something that I've ever wanted to do, but I felt led that
neither
I
did
need to.
neither did I. The Lord said, "You study," and I said, "No," for years. And all of a
Yes,
sudden, it was
I
like
don't want to. Yeah, not really
I
something I want to
I
think
found more
about,
than I
but
bargained for too. It's like, oh, it's like,
yeah, I
yeah.
bet. I can imagine. I mean, he has certainly used your experience, and being able to come back and share that with the world is
Mhm.
I mean, I know it doesn't probably feel that way, but it's been a very big blessing for
Yeah.
people, you
Well,
know.
let's do it for Jesus, because the cost is tremendous. My wife and I would
Right.
go to churches around here. This is what they don't tell you. We go to churches and we get the cold shoulder, and all of a sudden
Mhm.
I could never figure out why. And then we went to one church, and it was really bad. They needed help and volunteers, so we helped them tear down tables and set up. They had a big thing going on, and all of a sudden it was like you could cut the room with the coldness with with a knife, you know. And we looked, and
Oh,
so we said, I had no idea what was going on. What do we do? Do we use deodorant? Yeah, we brushed our teeth. Yeah, I mean, what? And we didn't. It was
it's your
me.
light.
It was me. Oh, you had
It's
an
your
after
light.
death experience. You're a disgusting excuse for a human being. You're not a Christian. And it's like, it's like they just
Mm.
don't want nothing to do with you. And so, about every church we went to, we got the same treatment. And now my wife passed away. I found a church, and it doesn't do that. I'm actually shocked that they even accepted me. In fact, the church is
Oh,
actually growing. We had to open up Saturday night for a service.
yeah.
And we had over 300 some odd people get saved. We had how many did last Sunday at the 9 a.m.? It could have been eight or not. Most of them are teenagers and
Oh, that's
kids coming
amazing.
up and getting
That's
saved.
cool.
But they're tired of the bull stuff. They really are.
Yeah. There's a
And
lot of that.
and
I
plus
think that's,
that church I go to is a word church. Is it a perfect church? No, but it's a word church. They teach the
yeah,
word and teaching on the subject of holiness, and also mixing spiritual
yeah.
warfare in with it as well. And they provide answers. With
That's mine too. In a nutshell, it's like you said, it's not perfect. And
it.
there's times I've talked to my husband about this too, where I wish that they would just focus on more of the relevant topics. So not that the Bible is not relevant. I don't want to misspeak and come across that way, but it's like I understand the urgency behind the times of which we live, and I feel like more people should understand that level of urgency and the importance of truly knowing and establishing a relationship with Jesus
Hmm.
outside of just becoming saved. But we have to remember that the whole goal of the churches that we attend is to bring people to Jesus, and they're probably dealing with certain people that are at different levels of their faith where the main goal is to get these people saved. And maybe there might be a potential where during a Bible study you delve more so into these types of topics.
Hmm.
But then also, I'll hear people say, well, I don't feel like I'm getting anything from my church. But then I have to remind myself, well, what if it's not what you're getting from your church, but what from you can offer that church? What if
Hmm.
there's somebody within that service or within that congregation that needs the knowledge you possess, or needs a certain characteristic that you maintain more than you need them? And when you
Hmm.
think of it from that perspective, like, we shouldn't be isolating ourselves, because when we get into that idea of, I don't want to go to church today because I'm not getting anything from it, I'll just join online. Well,
Yeah.
I think we're forsaking the assembly of God. And I think that's problematic sometimes. That's just in my opinion. But
I'm gonna say,
yeah.
Ashley, if you're on,
Um,
I'm gonna try to. If you want to come on, I want to try
hi,
to send.
Ashley.
I'll try to send you a link.
Oh,
Let
I
me get
love
it.
that.
If you can
Yeah,
make
that
it,
would
I
be
don't know. I should have.
awesome.
I should have. For some reason I excluded you. My apologies. So let me get up here.
Oh,
Let's have
there's
Ashley.
so many. That would be awesome. Yeah, I
Jason.
don't know how much longer I can stay. I
Yeah.
have to work
Okay.
early in
I'll
the
see if
morning.
Ashley can
So,
come on. Okay. Let me get up here. Ah,
is Jason going to come on, or?
no, he came on. He won't be able to. Let's see.
Oh,
Oh.
wonder if
I can't
KG
remember
is up and
Ashley's.
awake.
I can't remember Ashley's email address. I can't find it. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I
Ashley, if you
can't check
send.
her. I'll lose.
Okay. Well, Ashley, if you can send me an email, and I can do this real quick. Okay. If you want to come on, send me an email, Ashley.
Oh, that'd be
Can't remember your
awesome.
email. I should have categorized it. I have it, but I'm looking up Ashley. I'm looking up among the fig trees. But
Oh
yeah,
no.
if she can make us fine, but we'll see if she can come on. But I'll wait and see if I get a strike. Jason won't be able to because he got in too late, I guess. See us Thursday. and
Oh,
I'll let Jason know that, see if Jason can have you on too. So if you like
oh,
that
that'd be
on Thursday,
great.
okay.
Yeah, I'd love that.
But
It's good, like, cause like, my kids are in bed, and
okay,
I don't have to worry about crying, and I'm off work, so it's better later nights, but
yeah, early,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I don't have to worry about that anymore. So that's but yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah. But anyway, I'm looking at here. So if Ashley, if you can get there, send me an email quick if
Oh,
you got it. If you want to be on, if not, that's okay. Um,
yeah.
yeah, Jesus says here, Jesus healed and cast out demons. You know, that's what he did, and he cast out a
Mhm.
lot of them. He did a lot more of that than anything, and that's something
Yeah.
too people don't understand. You know, the devil will pervert something that God wants done, so nobody does it. That's the art of deception. We got to be aware of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
KBK. I'll see. Send me an
Oh,
email, Kay,
KG.
if you want to come on. I saw you're on the other channel. I didn't think you'd be able to make it, but send me an email and I will send you a link
KG's been
if you
busy
want to be on.
today.
Yeah, if he wants to come on
Yeah,
at
that'd
a
be
party.
awesome.
So should
Mod
be a,
party. Yeah.
see, I don't
It's
know.
really good to talk to you, by the way, like face
Okay,
to face.
yeah, that's good.
It's been
I
a
always try to
while.
imagine what people look like in my mind,
I know.
but
I
so
haven't been on much, but I tend to watch more than I go on, but
mhm,
I want to do more. I haven't
yeah.
really had a whole lot of time lately. So
Yeah, with your knowledge of the occult world and stuff, okay, let me send him a link. Okay,
yeah.
copy link. I'll give it to Kay. Okay, reply.
Well, I do think and you can probably attest to this too, that once you start taking on the enemy through prayer and through, I guess, giving him what he gives us, you are
Mm-hmm.
praying, actively praying against the things of which are unfolding. I don't know if you've experienced this, but all hell breaks loose in your
Oh yeah,
life
yeah.
when
Of
you start
course, it
doing
does.
that.
It does.
Like
And you
I had
study the occult and expose it too. It same
yeah,
thing.
exactly. I had led a prayer. I sent it to another creator who posted it. It was a spiritual warfare prayer. It was kind of long, but I felt led to do that. And it was about, in addition to one of the dreams I had had regarding like tsunamis and stuff like that. Anyways, I led that prayer because I heard in the dream, lead my people to pray.
Mm-hmm.
And the minute I did that, that video got like 65,000 views or something. It wasn't on my channel, but I had to put my dog to sleep
Oh.
that next day.
Mm-hmm.
My baby got sick with a stomach virus. I had a pipe in the upstairs bathroom that burst, and it required almost $40,000 of work in my home to be done, including a kitchen ceiling renovation.
That
Um,
happened to me too. Or it's my wife and I long ago. Oh,
yeah, it
oh.
was horrible. It took months for that to get rectified, but it was like honestly, like it almost makes you question, am I doing the right thing? But then you realize, put your faith in God, and you must be making some sort of dent. So it's definitely important to expose these things. And I think that's great that you're wanting to do a message more
Yeah,
on this. I just hope that your pipe doesn't explode.
yeah. I just sent him the link, so I just have to answer it, so he can get it. See,
Yeah,
not sure
good.
I sent it. I didn't.
Oh my gosh, I have to charge my phone. I only have 4%.
Uh-oh. You better get it.
I'm going over right now.
Okay. All right. Kay, see if you can get on, Kay. I sent you the link. It did go through. Yeah, it went to you. It's just a link to Restream. Just click on it and then follow the instructions, and you should be able to get on, just like StreamYard. So, yeah.
Cool.
Okay. But there you got it. You got your phone plugged in now?
Yeah. Got my phone plugged in. I'm good.
Yeah. It's it's a cost to expose stuff and do spiritual warfare. And but what the Lord helped me is that I'm helping to expose evil every time I'm counterattacked.
Yeah, it is. And it's almost like, you know, we expect these types of things to happen, but we also have the assurance that Jesus is with us, and the devil can only do what God allows him to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I trust in Jesus that he will set the path straight. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, everything has worked out.
Just
It's been fine, but it's like we have to make these waves. Hi, KG.
ooh,
Hi, it's so good to see you. I always
Can
say
you
hi
guys
to
hear
you.
me?
It's so good to
I
see
can hear you.
you.
I can hear you good.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Let me
I'm
turn off
using
the
my
phone in the
I mean,
background.
I trust in
See.
Jesus that he will
okay.
set the path. Oh gosh, I hear myself.
Oh, did
This
you
is
hear? What's up,
yeah.
Allie? Allie. What's up, sister?
One
Good
goes.
to
Hey,
see you.
Who's the woman
whoa.
on
Oh,
the
you said
panel?
hi. I can
There
finally
you go.
see you.
It's
This is
Allie.
weird. Where do you see the live chat? Oh, do you got to push on the live chat over here?
Oh,
Okay.
I don't even see it. Let me see.
Oh,
Oh, there it is.
yeah. I hope you can
You
see
see
it.
down at the bottom right
Oh,
says chat, and you hit it. I look
yes,
so
I see
big.
that now.
You
Oh, it's
got to
good.
trim the beard like I do.
What's that? What'd you say,
Yeah.
You
BW?
can trim your beard like I do.
Oh,
I
no
shaved
way.
once. I had to shave because of my job. My wife says, "I pray that you can grow it back," and they did.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
that's
Allie at the
good. It
Great
looks good.
Awakening. Somebody asked who you were.
Yeah.
Calypso's down
Yes.
there.
Hi, Calypso. Thank you. That's so kind. Thank you.
I don't see
Probably
where
because
you
I'm so
type in the
tired
chat
today.
though.
It
I'm
should be
trying
on
to
the
figure
Yeah.
out where
bottom.
you type though.
I know
Where do
I
you
know what
type
my end looks
BW?
like, but I don't know what your end looks like. But you should be able to somewhere.
Oh,
Oh,
Doug is here. Hi, Doug. Good to see you.
Okay.
Have Ernest and
okay, now it's
let's see
gone.
who else.
Yeah.
I like Rain. Nice verse there. Neither this man nor his parents sinned, but that the works of God should be revealed in him. Yeah. Hi, Skywatcher Uncle.
Yeah, I could
Got a
just
lot of
see
good
him
people
down there, but I
here.
can't figure out how to type.
Okay. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
on this end, so um, you should be able to. But anyway, so you were on departure tonight. So what do you guys talk about?
He was bringing it was like AI stuff, and
Oh, the AI.
about getting as many people on in the ark as possible, and such like that. And his dad had some heart issues last or 2 weeks ago, and he just filled us in that he's feeling a little bit better now. So
Okay.
talking about Rick at Departure Heaven,
Yeah,
Ashley.
Rick. Yeah, I saw you on. I tried to get
I said
Jason
Alice.
on too.
Did Allie freeze up there?
Did you free?
Out
It's like
a little bit. I
Yeah.
apologize.
What service are you in, BW? What are you streaming on? What is
What were
this?
you saying?
I'm streaming on Restream.
Okay.
It's similar to StreamYard. I think StreamYard might be a little better, but it's for certain things, and this is good for certain things too. I'm learning really how to use it after all
Oh,
these years of you using it. I find that it
Mm,
can do more than I thought, and so I'm still working on it.
because
But you,
uh StreamYard is so easy and stuff. Like I said, I'm looking here. I don't even see how you type in the chat. StreamYard is just there.
yeah, I don't know how.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, you can go on YouTube and try on the chat too. I don't know, but
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, we're just talking about spiritual warfare and churches and
Oh,
stuff and all these questions that people ask me. I think I covered most of them, except the last one was someone says, what was that? I go, okay, I might as well answer this one. It says, your preaching works, brother. If you believe Jesus died and resurrected, you will be raptured. You can't hold yourself to a certain
Mm.
standard. I said, no, I've never taught that. I don't teach a works-based salvation, never have.
nope.
No.
I don't know if I was clear. Sometimes I'm not the most clearest, but when I say that Jesus said to watch and pray and be counted worthy to escape these things, I'm speaking from his point of view, not mine. It's not works based at all. It's just that, are you putting a little interest in the bank with a little life change, a little sanctification work are you doing something for the cause of Christ? Are you praying for people? Are you helping somebody? It's not, I mean, when he comes, he wants to find you doing something, basically.
Yeah.
And
Occupy
no
till he
matter how
comes,
small,
redeem the
if
bank.
you're just helping kids out in a preschool or even your own kids, I mean, God wants to see you doing something, ministering to your wife, your husband, your kids, not getting mad at them. It's just the simplest things in the world. It's just common sense.
Mhm.
It's not works.
Well,
And
BW, what I've been saying is, if you're a born again believer that you truly believe, on 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4, the death, burial, and resurrection, and we're redeemed through his blood, well, then you're rapture ready, whether you believe in the rapture or not, because I was brought up in a false religion of Catholic, but I was still saved in it.
Mm.
But I never heard of the rapture. But if I was truly born again, just like anybody else, you will go into rapture. It doesn't
of
matter. That's
course.
the only requirement. So whether you believe in the rapture or if you believe in mid-trib or post-trib, when the pre-trib happens, all believers go in the rapture,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's not work-based. That's just what the Bible says. That's what's written
exactly.
in here.
That's exactly. You just
Yeah.
answered the person's question.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Exactly.
First Corinthians 15, 51-55 says, that we'll be changed in a twinkling of an eye. Over in First Thessalonians, what is it, 4, the end of 4 and the beginning of 5, that says, we'll be changed. We won't we won't beat those dead in Christ. And then, they go up first, and then we'll meet them in the clouds, and we'll be with Christ forever. So it's all written in scripture. It has nothing to do with work base.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I guess the work base for them would be reading the scripture and understanding it. So that might be a work for them to actually understand it, if that
Mm.
makes sense.
Yeah, that would be, it's not, when I'm not teaching works based, it's just pretty much what you said. It's pretty easy. I don't teach works based
I never
salvation.
heard you say that.
No.
No. We're
On
not.
Jason's channel, it's like, oh no, I don't teach that. But it's like the other night when I was doing the rapture thing, I was talking about Jesus's blood was a universal donor. I didn't clarify that was universal platelets and plasma donor, which is universal to everyone. Could use, I have AB negative blood, so my blood can use
Hmm.
for plasma as well as for platelets. It can help somebody stop bleeding so they won't bleed out in an emergency. So they always want my blood.
Wow. That's
I don't give
amazing.
it though. I can't stand needles.
Oh,
Yeah. Me neither.
well,
But yeah,
I could take blood, but I don't like to give blood. So
yeah, I don't want to give blood either. Because I can't stand needles. Ugh.
Wasn't Jesus AB? Type AB
Yeah, they
blood?
said it's
Yeah.
AB blood too. Yeah, and it's
Interesting.
6% of the world's population. It's not royal blood. It's just that we just are very rare. It's whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just certain groups of people in the Mediterranean, Middle East, and up in the Basque country. That's where it primarily comes from. So
Wow.
did you
That is
tell
so
the people
cool.
in the chat that this is a Q&A session? Because
yeah,
is that the name up there? Normal ain't coming back Q&A,
yeah,
but
normal ain't coming back. It's the name of a song by the Bellamy brothers and the Isaacs. It's a gospel song. Normal ain't coming back, but Jesus is.
oh, that's it.
Mhm.
I put the
I
song
like
link
it.
in there. I just suggest people listen to it. You know,
Oh, that's actually a song. I did not know that.
It's a song. Yeah, it just came out with it not too long ago. It's on YouTube, so I put the link in there, and I like it.
Mhm.
And you'll see the Isaac singing along with the Bellamy brothers, and so yeah. And yeah, it's a true song. You know, the world's going crazy. Ain't normal ain't coming back, but Jesus is. He's coming to get us.
Yeah.
But I've heard that forever since the 2020 episode there. People's been saying that normal ain't coming back, Jesus is, but I didn't know it was a song. So
it's a song. It's actually a song.
Oh wow.
So,
Did you know that, Ash? Did you know that, Allie?
I did not know that. No.
Well, you go in the
Know that
description
either.
and listen to it. Just link it up, and you'll hear it. I can't play it on here. I'll be taken off.
Yeah, I will check
Yeah.
it out afterwards.
I'll
I'm
check it
gonna
out.
have to now.
But yeah,
For
so
sure.
I just like the song, and I like how they sing that version of it. So it's just, to me, it's just a cute song.
And just so
Yeah.
you know, Brian,
Yeah.
we're just teasing you about the back thing. We never thought that was your house. I know you're in your basement and everything.
I know.
But when we're down there, we're like, what? Is he on vacation again? That's why I was saying, look, he's in a different place. He's on vacation. Look at all the beautiful places he's in. And you're like, no, that's just a green screen.
That's actually what's
I
behind
love
me.
it.
That's what's
You have
behind
a really
me.
good green screen. Mine always looks all wonky.
Well, his
and,
isn't a green
like,
screen.
I have a green screen
Oh.
behind us. I have to use this with XSplit camera, so I can put all my pictures in here and go to them. So then I click on it. I don't get any feedback, and my hair doesn't look green.
Yeah.
Because you got to use
Mine
big,
always looks
huge
weird.
lights on you but if I use too bright of a light, my face is lit up, so I have to kind of darken and dampen things. So I put the
You
black.
look like Moses.
Yeah, you have to have black screen and stuff, so you can. And all it is a black sheet, a king size sheet that's black. That's all that is.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And
Very
I blacked
cool.
it out. So this is on XSplit VCam. So I got about 30 pictures up here. I can.
Mine's real. I just put some bamboo in the window back here to make it look nice and some little lights around it. And it was better than it was before. It was curtains, so mine's real, just like Allie's.
I like it.
I had an interview with Sean McDowell, and so I had to do it upstairs. So it was live in my kitchen, and looking at the kitchen. What do you call it? The hutch. So yeah, but I had to do it up there, and the reason I don't do it upstairs is that somebody rings the doorbell or pounds on the door. I'm in the basement, so I don't hear anything. And plus, when my wife was alive, I had to come down here because I'd wake her up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, you could get like a thing that puts a light down in your basement, or a doorbell that rings down there. They have all this different things that that's not connected to anything. It's just a plastic doorbell, and then you just could carry it around with you, put it in the basement. I mean, if you're expecting something.
Well, yeah, I'm not expecting anything. I just people come up, knock on your door all the time. People trying to sell you stuff. Kids selling chocolate to cookies or whatever.
I got to speak to some Mormons though. There's like 3 of them. I spent like 40 minutes outside trying to give them the real gospel and everything. So
how did they take that?
They were kind of like, because I said, this is all written by guys, the Bible, it's inspired by God. Well, so is this. I said, all 3 of us could sit over in that picnic table and say it's inspired from God and write it down, and it's not. Just like John, what's his name, John Smith. And I said, it says, and then I showed him the Galatians, 1:6-8, where it says, if someone else preaches another gospel, even an angel from heaven, let them be accursed. And I'm like, right here is what you guys are talking about. He had a private translation, and he's saying that an angel spoke to him. So it's right there. Paul knew that was coming, but they were so blinded they wouldn't listen. So
they don't. Joseph Smith blended Masonic ism and bits of the Kabbalah into the religion. Basically, is what he did. He kind of combined the two. And you know that, but I always tell him that, do you know how he died? Oh, he was persecuted. No, you guys split. You have the Reformed or Latter-day Saints, and then you got you guys, and then those guys, caught him doing hanky panky with young girls, and they caught him policing
They
large
killed him.
money, and so they're coming to lynch him. So they ran into the jail for protection, and when they were mobbing, stormed the jail, he jumped out of a window and they shot him. And his last words were, "They got me." That's where that comes from.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and you got to understand, he never finished reinterpreting the Book of Revelation when he got shot. So he went to the Mormon archives online at the temple there. You could type it in, and I read part of it. I go, no wonder he got shot. That's scary. He was altering the Book of Revelation. He got shot.
Yeah, we're
Wow.
deliberately told not to do that.
To do that. And I mean, it's the stuff in the practice and the secret handshakes. It's a lot of it's in Masonry. It's a blend of stuff, and it's a big organization now.
Yeah,
And,
it's everywhere
Well, they're
too.
huge. They're huge.
Yeah, and it's yeah, but a lot of them are really practicing. They're very good people. They're very kind, considerate.
Yeah.
I mean, not all of them, but I mean, by and large. But they go out and do their what do you call it? Their what do you call it? The journey, not the journey, but they go witness. What is it? Oh, I can't think of it. I can't think of the name of it now. They go out and they ride their bikes and stuff and come to your house and knock on your door. All these guys.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
witnessing. They're witnessing their false religion.
And stuff. It was funny. I saw them, my wife and I were down at the Fossil Creek Park, and we were walking around doing our exercises, and we looked down and there's like 4 Mormon, missionaries down there fishing. Here it go. No, it's gone. The my service is being messed up. I have high-speed internet.
Oh, it keeps
my service is being messed up. I have high-speed internet.
Oh, it keeps starting over. Look over there, BW. It's starting over your counter, so it's a whole different stream.
I know. They told me to go ahead and start it again. So
they're probably still in the old stream. Let me check on my phone. You might have started a whole different stream here.
Yeah.
Let me check on my phone. Let me check
see
here.
what's happening here.
Dialogue Conspiracy says we're back. So
okay.
I guess they can
Okay.
see
We're
us.
back. We're back. Yeah. They just told me
Yeah.
what to do to get back on. So I guess we didn't lose the exact stream.
Oh, okay.
They said
It's just weird that the counter started over at 43 seconds now.
No, it did it twice. It said I lost the stream.
Oh, wow.
Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, I guess it was refreshed. So yeah, everybody's still watching that were on here before. So
good.
So yeah, sorry about that. Something with my internet connection. It's who knows what it's doing. Let me check one thing here on my. I'll go here to Allie.
Hey, G. It's so good to talk to you.
I was
I've been
just
thinking I need to
over
reach
there
out
looking
to
around
you.
on your channel, thinking I haven't seen you in a while, and it was still that last one you did. I was going to leave a message, and then I seen you in the chat. I forget what chat I seen you in. Was it Uptime you were in there?
I was on Uptime. Yeah, I was getting my little girls ready for bed, and then I joined Brian. He's like, "Hey, you want to come on?" I'm like, "Actually, this is the perfect time. Why not?" So
why not? Yeah.
How long you been on then?
I think it's been about an hour and a half, maybe a little longer. Yeah. It's been good.
We're just going over. We just finished up the question, so we can start talking about everything else.
Yeah. So what I
Yeah.
was saying is the Jehovah's, they have that New World edition, and instead of it,
Mhm.
you know, John 1, where it says in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, they have one
Yeah.
that says was a God. So they don't believe, they
Mm,
believe he might be the Son of God. They also believe that Jesus and the devil are brothers, and they both had plans of salvation, and Jesus won, and that's why his salvation's working, but the devil could have won too. And it's just so bizarre.
Well, it is bizarre because it
it is
matches the
weird.
Kabbalah.
Is
Kabbalah teaches on all the Kabbalah forms teaches the same thing.
yeah,
And they're brothers.
yeah. And
Mm,
they're not, because Christ is not created. He is God, and the
Hmm.
angels like Satan, any of the other fallen angels or regular angels were all created by God, by Jesus.
Yeah, they sure were and are, and you know it's yeah these people. Yes, we're talking about deception. That's another form of deception the enemy does. He takes the scripture,
mm-hmm.
twist it to their own destruction, and Mormons and the Jehovah Witnesses are very works oriented, works based salvation and stuff. In fact, about every major religion is. Eh, We're the true biblical Christianity just simply offers a choice, and you find a risen Savior, and you get saved. I can't explain it. There is a relationship between me and the Lord, and I think you all have one too. And you can't really explain it. It's there, and we study the
Mm-hmm.
Word, and we get insight and things. It's supernatural.
Well,
It
And
Calypso
is.
just put down there that they say that Michael and Lucifer were brothers. Well, they're both angels. Lucifer's a fallen angel. You know, he's the number one. And Michael, the archangel Michael, he's an angel too. I wouldn't call them brothers, but they are, you know, of the
yeah,
angel descent.
and Jehovah
Mm-hmm.
Witnesses say that Jesus is Michael, the archangel, as far as I
Mm,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
I had to deal with a lot of that a long time ago with Mormons and Jehovah Witnesses. And I used to, when I had my German Shepherd, it was great. They'd come up to the door and my dog would scare them off.
No.
But you want to witness
your
to me?
dog could recognize the
I just sit
demonic
there and
spirit.
push my dog back, and she's scratching on the door. I stand there. You want my dog out? Want to meet my dog? Okay, let's witness. Oh no,
Here,
we'll come back.
here, play with
Oh
this
my
bone.
gosh.
Go get him. Here, play with this bone. Go get him.
Yeah, German Shepherds are very protective.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
Usually those two
they're good
groups of people,
dogs.
she didn't get along with, and mailman too. But other
poor
than that,
mailmen.
most people could she just bark and they let them in the house and they're fine. But it's
But
Yeah.
their eyes, it's just like with Paul. He had the scales on his eyes, and we could only try to witness to him, but ultimately, just like it says in John 6:44, that no man could lead him to me except for the Father, and I'll raise him up on the last day. So all we could do is try to plant them seeds, or I call it cultivating them seeds, trying to pull them weeds out, because obviously they're in a cult, and it's the wrong religion. Because if Jesus said, if you're not for me, you're against me. And so
Mhm.
anything else other than I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man comes to the Father but by me, is of the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even if it's Hinduism or Buddhism or any of that stuff, it's still the devil. Just like these people that do that crystal ball stuff, there's devils and demons back there giving them enough information to draw people in, and then when they draw people in, it keeps them away from believing in Christ, because now they're talking to a dead person. They're
Mhm.
necromancing and such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I when I was doing militant atheist stuff, I'd do that too. I go, well, all the religions were, Hinduism predates Christianity, and Christianity borrowed from that and the Mesopotamian
Yep.
religion and all this stuff. I did go down the line and try to baffle these people with my
Yep.
really intellect.
Mm,
Usually, if they don't know their stuff, it was easy to do back in the day. Probably still is, but and then when I
I'm
became a
sure.
Christian, then the Lord said, Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. Oh,
Mm.
okay. You crushed the serpent's head. So he knew this was coming. And so he orchestrated,
Mm-hmm.
he mirrors everything, and he tried to circumvent it. literally tried to get rid of Jesus before he was born, and plus he was going to have his person come in. And
Well,
so,
when I was young, I thought I was enlightened and smart, and I would just say, well, it's probably the same God, but he came to them at a different time. And so, they're probably worshiping the same God, but he, like you said, that they're an older people. So, he came to him this way and he came to us this way and someone else that way, which isn't true. I know the truth now. That's all hogwash. There is only one Jesus. There is only one God, and that's it.
Yeah, that's true. And so, I was that militant atheist back then, and that's what I thought, and it just, they don't need Christianity. But the problem is what are you going to do about Jesus?
Right.
We have to offer a choice, and everybody else offers work. You just come and get saved. And this politician, really, right after the Trump thing, assassination attempt, and there's lambasting Christians. And here's the person who came to assassinate him, got caught. His whole manifesto is anti-Christian, pro-Democrat stuff, and it's like, wow. People don't see the forest for the trees. I mean, we have as Christians have a tag against. They're tagging us.
Yep.
They want to get rid of us. And this is an open war. It is really a spiritual warfare getting ready to go hot. That's what Bible prophecy, end time stuff is. Just the spiritual war gets hot, goes hot.
Well, plus he's the only true risen God. It's the only God that came back from the dead. All them other ones are still dead in there. They're just clay and made of, wood and stone and such. He's the only true God, and like it says in Ephesians, is it not Ephesians, I'm sorry. 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4. And then it says down there in 14, if he wasn't risen, then our faith is in vain, but he did rise and he is sitting at the right hand of the Father. So our faith is not in vain.
Yeah. Well, we have the shroud now. We have the shroud, pretty convincing evidence on the shroud that he did rose from the dead. And we have the Noah's Ark now coming up.
Oh yeah, I heard about that they found something underneath it or something too. Or what was that about?
They found passageways that match the interior of a boat perfectly, and little chambers off to the side, and how it's shaped and how it was formed. And it's collapsed, but there's enough of it left they can see. If they can drop something in there, they can actually see what's inside. And some of the wood around the hull is petrified now, so they can't really drill through it.
Well, don't they have that ark thing over there in Kentucky that they build it by the exact dimensions in the Bible? So they would be able to tell by the way that looks as to, what it should look like, right?
Yeah, and pretty much the same shape, same dimensions, same everything. And of course, where it landed, it's over time it slid down the mountain a little bit where it landed. It's pretty much where the Book of Jubilee said it landed. It's near Mount Ararat. I can't remember the name of this peak. Between this peak and Mount Ararat is where it landed. So interesting.
Well, just because I like to use scripture to interpret scripture. So right here in 1 Corinthians 15, 1-, it says right after that, it says he was seen, and he was seen by Cephas and then the 12, and after that he was seen above 500 brethren at once, of whom the greater part remain into the present, and some have fallen asleep. So they're all dead by now. But what I'm saying is there was proof there, and wasn't there proof with the Roman soldiers and such too, that they had guards out there? So there's proof that that was empty, that he was gone.
Yeah, I kind of daydream about that flash of light in that billionth of a second, and Jesus came out of the shroud. The stone just moved away, bright light, and the Roman guards got knocked flat. And then there was angels there. It's like they probably soiled themselves.
Well, didn't they say it'd almost be like a nuclear reaction with the what he had to do to put that on that turn or whatever?
Yeah, let there be light. Boom, and there was. It's like, wow. And
wasn't there like an earthquake too?
The
that was
earthquake.
experienced
Yeah, the
as
big
well.
earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he
And
died, though, right? I don't know if it's when
Yeah.
he
there,
rose,
yeah,
though.
yeah. When he died, there was this big earthquake. I have to look
Yeah,
again.
that's when
Mm-hmm.
the shroud was ripped from the top to the
The
bottom.
shroud was ripped. Yeah,
I
from
think
the
it was
top.
on for
Yeah.
3 hours, wasn't it? Wasn't it a storm and the sun was blocked out like for 3
It was
hours
about
or
3 hours.
It was
It
dark.
was going on something for 3 hours, and it was scaring people. But other people were mocking and hating, and it's just like it is today. They hate goodness. They hate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why that Roman soldier said, surely this was the Son of God. And I
Mhm.
think he was the first Roman that became a Christian that believed right then and there because he said,
Yeah.
surely this was the
Mhm.
Son of God, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting. Thief on the cross is the first person saved, and a Roman soldier saying, "This is the Son of God."
Yeah. And then the
Yeah.
first
It
martyr
was.
was Stephen.
Hmm. Yeah, and then James. Yeah, just yeah. Yeah. Do you look back on that ancient stuff, history, and how they went and traveled and what they did is absolutely amazing. And I see similar when I go to the First Nations. I go to the reservations, and so I'm going back up there in June onto Cheyenne River Reservation, in Eagle Butte there. Yeah, I think it's at the
Mm.
conference room. We might be outside. I don't know. We might be at the powwow grounds. I can't remember, but we'll be there 4 days. But how the Lord threw a bunch of us together in 2011, and we were all meeting. Most of us will meet up there again. So we all had the same vision. We wanted to get people saved and train and equip them on and how to go out into the community themselves to do the work.
Oh, nice.
That was our
Mm.
vision. And with nobody telling them what to do, we just kind of counsel them and stuff, and and that's what
Well,
we
you're
did.
teaching, but Brian, you're teaching them the fish. You're not feeding them. You're teaching them how to fish.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's
It's
awesome.
and and so they're doing it. They're doing it. And so I hope to get back on the Crow Agency, and back in Lame Deer up in the northern Cheyenne, just north of me, way north of me, and get back up there and see if the same thing can get started. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I just see Book of Acts stuff up there.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's persecution. Let me tell you, it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
You're you're a target.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not. I tell people it's not for the squeamish. You have to be a little spiritual moxie, a little tough.
Mm-hmm.
Spiritual warfare is very intense, because Allie and I were talking about spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very.
And you got
I've
native
been
stuff.
I've
Oof.
been going through it myself, BW. A really good friend of mine that's a born again believer. We had a misunderstanding the other day, and it's just terrible. It's just
Oh.
and I really care about the person, and and it's just a big mess, and so I understand the spiritual warfare is terrible.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It is. But that's what we were talking about before you got on. We're talking about the spiritual warfare. I was telling how, when my wife and I would go to churches, we get the cold shoulder, or asked to leave, or made known, or something. And so, and it was like there's nothing. We didn't know what was going on. I figured out it was because of my testimony. And
Mm.
you are you walk a lonely road doing what I do, but I
Yeah.
haven't stopped. I
Well,
haven't
that's
stopped.
what
Turning
I was going to
God
say.
and
That's what
yeah.
I was going to say
Sorry.
before. The road narrow is the gate and wide is the road to destruction, like all them other religions and stuff. Just when you were talking about them, BW.
Yeah. See, I never thought. I go,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I thought, I'd be out. First wrote my book, I thought I'd be traveling around. No, I did for a while, and when I started doing videos and interviews for a long time, and then finally, all of a sudden, I got more views and been TV, all that stuff was. I can only count up to 15 million people, and people say it's a lot larger number than that, but only God knows the actual number. But of how many people I've reached, I'm going, I had no idea
Wow.
It's a
I have
lot.
no idea. And all I'm doing is, I don't know what I'm doing, Lord. I'm getting a lot of flack. People cascade you as something you're not. They don't want nothing to do with you. In the church community, I'm not mad at them. I just merciful, forgive them and move on. They don't, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. I just move on. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing and get people saved and try to help and disciple as many people as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Right.
Think,
Well, he
think,
was persecuted first, and so we should expect that that's going to happen with us. And if you can just impact the life of one or two people, then it's worth it. That's
Mhm.
amazing, because that one or two people that you've helped to bring to Jesus is going to have an impact on other people, and it's just going to continue and continue. And it's going to be so interesting to see one day how many lives we've impacted when we think we've done so little, you know.
we're so lucky in this day and age to be able to witness. You got to remember when they were all on fire back there, because that's why I always say God could save anyone out of anything. They only had these parchments, and there was only a few of them that they passed around. They didn't have this whole, we have the Old Testament and the New Testament. They're all right here. He had a parchment here and a parchment there and a pistol that they passed off, and people were getting saved
Yeah.
by, left and right. And we got
Yeah.
this, and we still have problems getting people to listen. Or even if you watched Jason there, sometimes people don't want to take the Bibles. No, that's okay, so it's
Yeah.
just so bizarre.
I remember doing
That's
that around
weird.
here, go to the park and stuff and witness and try to hand out a Bible or a tract, or Bibles, usually small. And some people were receptive. Most of them were just didn't want to, they just scurry off real quick.
Or give you dirty looks and just be mean sometimes too.
Or throw a half-drank milkshake at you like they did.
I didn't have that happen, but you're
Well,
speaking from
God's kidding.
experience. You
Okay,
tell.
I just, it's coming. I just, oh, good. Bless you. You hit me. Hallelujah. I said,
Wow.
I gotta find a bush or start taking off before they turn around and beat me up.
Poor Brian. I never had it that bad.
Once in a while. Yeah, I was threatened by medicine man.
Yeah.
Well, Allie said it. He said that they'll hate you for my namesake, but be of good cheer. I've overcome the world, and they hate you
Well,
because of me, and they hated him first. So, right,
Yeah.
Allie?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I had this
Exactly.
one medicine man came up to me in the Mescalero reservation in 2010, and he's a real short uh, Apache, and he's a little medicine man. I found out later, and he goes, "I'm my God's stronger than your God. I hate white man religion. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna kill you." I said, "You're gonna." So come over here. Follow me over here. This is my friend. He's a big tall guy. Introduced him. He said the same thing to him, and I came out of my mouth. I said, "Why don't you come tonight and find out whose God is stronger?" I just came out. I didn't. I said it. I don't know why I said it. I didn't fake this. I'm not trying to make anything up. It just came out of my mouth. And then I was more scared after. So I was preaching that night, and sure enough, he was in the background and sitting in the back. He started throwing the chairs around, some empty chairs, and knocking them down. And he, "Oh, you're a white man, religion, blah." And he's coming right at me, coming down the aisle. And all of a sudden he stopped, he put his hands in the air, and he screamed. His eyes got big, and he ran out of the back of the tent across the football field with his hands up in the air screaming. I'm going,
Oh.
and I just continued preaching. So he came the next night, and so I came up to him. This is a true story. This actually happened. And I came up to him. I asked him, I says, "So did you find out whose God is bigger?" Oh brother, he got saved, but he said, "Oh brother, don't come near me. You got two of the biggest goomers I ever seen standing behind you." He was terrified. I didn't see
Oh my
nothing. I didn't
gosh.
see anything.
That's amazing.
But
Well, it reminds me of Elijah, kind of, right? Wasn't he the one that was like, "Where is your God? Is he on the toilet?" Or
yeah,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
exact lines, but
Yeah,
his
yeah.
God is
But
more
he did say that.
powerful.
Yeah.
yeah. And so I don't know who. I'm glad I got some good sized angels behind me, because I sure needed them at that point.
Yes.
And I had no clue. I
Amazing.
go, man, people are seeing angels. I don't see them, but he sure did.
Yeah.
He got
So when you
saved.
said
So,
the
mm,
Mescalero, were you talking over by Tularosa and Ruidoso in New
Yeah,
Mexico? Yeah,
Mescalero.
yeah,
That's
I've
the
been through
Mescalero.
there many a times. You go through Cloudcroft, backing around
Yeah,
down that way through
yeah. We
Tularosa.
we
I
stayed
stayed
in
in
we stayed.
Alamogordo for a little bit.
Yeah, I was in Alamogordo too. I stayed in Ruidoso, then just drove to Mescalero. I was on the radio station there too. I
Oh,
can't remember the guy, the big beard. A long time ago, 2010. They
Abraham
announced
Lincoln.
me. What's that?
Abraham Lincoln. You said the
I don't
big
know.
beard. Well, it's either
Yeah,
KD
yeah.
or Abraham
It's a
Lincoln.
beard like yours, but yeah, and they trimmed it. I have a picture of him. I should show you. But we were cooking food. He's cooking hamburgers and stuff out at the tent revival. They were feeding the people as well. It was something that God
mm-hmm.
put together. I don't know how he did, but he just put it. He threw everything together. Just people came out of the woodworks to help. Um, I can't explain it, and yeah, it was a fun time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Outdoor. I like tents. I like open air, but so anyway,
You've had
that's
some
that's,
funny
that's all
experiences there,
I
BW.
got.
I said you've had some funny experiences there.
Yeah, that was the most memorable.
Yes.
That was the most memorable one. It's something I never forget. Yeah. Sometimes I open my mouth up and say things I shouldn't, but that time I didn't plan on saying anything like that.
It's almost like the Holy Spirit was working straight through
No,
you.
he did. And it wasn't me talking. It was like,
Yeah. That's
okay.
amazing.
Yeah. And sometimes we get some people who don't know anything about a reservation. So at least we take them we have permission to go, so we can go there. But we take somebody who has never been there, we go up to the traditional medicine ground and they go, man, I'm starting to feel sick. I got a headache. What's going on?
Mm,
Oh,
mm-hmm.
this is demon central.
Mm-hmm.
This
Wow.
is this is
Yeah.
real. The spiritual stuff is real. So we pray for them. They clear up a little bit, and they go, "Wow!" And it goes away, but they get a taste of what is really there,
Yeah.
Exactly.
how dark it is, and yeah. So they can leave little what do you call them? I can't remember what animal they use. They're different animal heads, the skulls with feathers sticking in them.
Oh.
And so they put it around there, or they one time up in the Cheyenne River area, we were staying at it was called the Triple R Ranch now. It's a place you can rent out, and it's a Christian place. And they knew we were there, and so someone sacrificed a dog and threw it in front of the access road, and a little puppy, it'll gross you out, but they
Mm,
sacrificed it and cursed us with it. It's like, okay, it's a meaning, is there meaning to it, to that curse. But, it's like, yeah, just go on, preach the gospel. I never
that's
told my wife
horrible.
how,
Don't they
how
realize,
dangerous,
like,
dangerous it was up there, but,
yeah. Well, don't they realize that their curses are not going to be anything against a true Christian? Well, maybe, I mean, maybe it has worked for people that
a
consider
lot of people
themselves to
go up
be
there and
Christians, but
home repair and stuff like that that's needed.
yeah.
Indian health services and the housing service are not going to do too much. So the volunteers go up and do, a lot of Christians and Baptists go up there to do those type of work, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes take donations of clothes, and I found out what they need the most is toothbrush, toothpaste, dental floss, adult Depends, and baby diapers.
Adult depends. Oh gosh. Oh,
Those,
interesting.
I had to go around collecting last time I took a donation up there and haul it all up there. That's what I had to get the most of and raise up money to buy
Mm,
all that. But we try and do clothes, and sometimes the clothes are not. Uh, people just give you the worst clothes you possible imagine. So
Don't they say that you go
Yeah.
out the same way you came in? You know, you're a baby, you're bald, you have no teeth, you pooping in diapers, and when you go out, you pooping in diapers, you're bald, and you have no teeth, and you know, so you go out the same way you come in, right?
Yeah. So yeah.
So baby diapers and adult diapers. Wow,
Yeah,
quite the combination there.
a big hit. You got to
Mm-hmm.
be careful because some of them people will grab a bunch and try to sell them for drug
Oh,
money. You got to be wise about it.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so yeah, and, yeah.
So we have some questions in the chat about all the missing scientists and the
Oh yeah,
alien disclosure and whether or not maybe there's some connection with the missing scientists. What do
I
you
seen
guys think
something
about
about
that?
Mormons too. I seen something about Mormons
Hmm.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. Sometimes that they just take these people away and they fake their deaths, but either way, they're gone. So they're whether they're actually really unlived or if they're just gone and they put, you know, I don't know.
well, I can see if Jason wants to come on now. I can. Well,
Yeah.
Jason, I can send you a link and see if you want to come on. I'll
Mm.
see if you want to come on.
Oh,
Well,
is that
Okay.
the one
I
you did
would
that movie
love
with?
to.
Yeah. Okay. Let me
I
see.
would love to stay with you guys, but I have to go. It's
Okay.
after midnight here, so I gotta
Oh,
go to work tomorrow.
you're on
But
Eastern time zone?
yeah, I'm out east. But it was good to talk to you, and it was
Okay.
really good to finally see you face to face, KG. So
All right. Yeah,
we'll
I get
talk
to see you all the
soon.
time in the love you,
Yeah,
sister.
love you
I
guys
was just gonna
too.
leave. I was just gonna leave you a message too. I mean, like you're not doing anything on your channel anymore. I thought I inspired you. What's going on here?
Oh, you do. Both of you do. I've just been really busy, but I do. I want to get back to it. I've been thinking about things to talk about because there's certainly a lot, but it's just
Uh,
like things have been so hectic. But I'll get back to it definitely.
Yeah, just do you, sister.
Yeah.
You know, when you get a chance to do it and stuff. You know, there's no pressure on it. But yeah, I look forward
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, I do too. It was really good seeing you, and thanks everybody for coming, and hopefully we can catch back up
yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll
Okay.
see you later, Allie. And if Jason
All
can come,
right.
Jason, well, Dialogue Conspiracy. Jason, I just sent him a link. If he wants to come on, I'll stay on a little longer
That's the one you
with
did
That'd be
the
Jay.
interview
awesome.
with, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well,
If
I'll
he
see if
wants
I
to
can
come on,
listen
make
for
him a
a little
little. Yeah.
while.
All right.
See you
I'll see
later,
you.
Talk
Allie.
to you
Thank
guys
you. It was nice
later.
We'll
meeting
see
you.
Bye.
you. Thanks for
Nice
coming
to
on.
see
I'll have you
you.
on
Yeah.
again now. We'll talk
Yes,
some more.
please do.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Okay. Jason, if you want to come on, you can. So yeah, I mean,
So, what was your spin on that Allie just asked about all them scientists disappearing and such?
yeah, I was just looking at that his the question there. Um, it's suspicious, and I'm not quite sure. If Jason can get on here, he can probably fill us in a little bit more than I can. But it is just sent Jason. You got a link just sent to you. Get your phone or computer up if you're. He could be at work. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. I think there something is going on, and I think it might have to do with anti-gravity machine and how easy it is to make it. Because the reason I say that, there are people who are showing how to draw electricity out of the earth with copper and
Like the
stuff.
Tesla coil.
The Tesla coil, that's what it's called, and it draws. You can light a light bulb with it, and it's a low voltage, but it's there. And certain soils are greater, certain can produce it. So something on that line, they don't want it out. And also, maybe the people found out that these are not nice entities either. They're not here to help and save humanity. And
Mhm.
some of them could have just died by accident anyway, but
But
we
not
don't
that
know.
many all together from the same area,
No,
right?
not from the same area altogether.
Isn't
And
it? Isn't it here in Isn't it in New Mexico? Is it the Sandia Labs or which one is it? Um,
I think it's in Alamosa, Alamogordo area.
I know which one you're the Alamo, the Los Alamos lab.
Yeah,
Is that?
yeah, Los Alamos, yeah. And I think that's one, and then and Alamogordo and White, where
White
they dropped
Sands?
the bomb at, yeah, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, that's at Los
Like,
Alamos where they made the big boy or whatever, where and they dropped it over there by Tularosa. They got the downwinders that say they got sickness from that.
okay, all right, Jason,
Hello.
you're
Hey, Jason.
here.
Hey,
We got
Jason.
Jason. He can answer the question. What happened to all the scientists,
Yeah.
Jason? You are into all this stuff.
You know, I haven't been following that much. What I've been seeing, especially with that David Wilcox guy, he had a lot of the stuff to me he was saying was just downright bunk and a lot of regurgitated stuff that I've heard before. So I don't know why people think that what he was, I guess, spouting
Let's
was the
see.
ultimate truth on the subject.
Well, he was more New Ager, more Alice Bailey quoting stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's probably why I was turned off by him. It just, it didn't, to me, it just didn't seem, I don't know. To be honest, I pretty much quit keeping up on all modern UFOlogy stuff in about 2017 when, forget the guy's name from Blink 182, but once he got involved and started that Academy to the Stars and we're going to go for disclosure, I just thought just another smokescreen operation, in my opinion.
No.
They're these people. What I've noticed, they don't want to know the truth.
Mm-mm.
They really don't. They want to sell their books, they want to sell their agendas, and that's pretty much it. They want to stick to their scripts, and that's why over the last 16 years, I'll say since 2010, every time that I would write these so-called serious UFO researchers and authors, and I would tell them about Chris's case, nobody wanted to touch it. As soon as I would mention what Baritone said, hey, this is what God did when we rebelled against him. He threw us to this planet. We can't leave. And we integrated ourselves into every aerospace program of your human age.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to hear that. The only, and you have to be careful. Like if you look up Preston Dennett's work, he's really good at researching UFO cases, but then he'll go into the, spiritual channeling. He'll have guests on who, oh, I've channeled this alien or this entity. You're consorting with demons.
Mm-hmm.
And I had sent him a link to invite him to watch our first interview. I don't know if he ever did or not, but that's a good example.
Yeah,
They don't want to hear it, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But so
yeah,
it just irks me, I guess.
It's all for clicks, likes, and sell books. That's what they do, and it's a racket. Ancient Alien thing is a racket, but you have to dig out the truth. What I liked about Baritone and Chris's testimony and what that lady wrote and all that. I was reading. I only touched a small portion of that, what she said in the Roswell, examining and interviewing the alien. And these things ain't nice.
No.
These things are deceptive. They're deceitful. And they're liars.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I liked about Chris's case, is because it's probably the only case ever out there that where somebody who was not abducted, in that sense of the word, taken against his will, had face-to-face audible conversations like how I'm talking to you, no telepathy, no downloading information, no, it's none of that. Baritone pretty much laid it all out on the line there for Chris,
Mm-hmm.
about what they do, how they go about. He described that usually they use the smaller crafts to go scout before they abduct, and when they use the bigger crafts, that's where all their equipment is and their torture techniques or whatever they use, their instruments, and they can tag you like implant evil memories, or there's something, I don't know how they tag you, but they can find you over and over again. And that kind of correlates with generational abduction experiences in families. I mean, Dr. Carla Turner, her family was abducted, not all at once, but they would have these experiences happening to them. And she was a college professor, I think, before she went into full-blown UFOlogy in the late 80s and early 90s. But she's a good example of a secular researcher who was coming to the conclusion that they were demonic, that they weren't anything good, and one of the only factual things that she said that we could say about them is that they're liars.
Yeah.
You know, she had, like I said, she had about 10 lists of facts. I don't have them in front of me, but that she went through. And
well, they come
up,
from the father of lies. He was a liar from the beginning. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy.
Yeah. Well, Baritone said himself, because Chris asked him how old he was, and he says, older than you think. And he said, well, that doesn't tell me anything. He says, well, put it this way. Your God threw us down, wadded us up like a baseball, and threw us to your earth. I was there. So
what? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chris said, but you have a body. He says, yeah, but we have long lifespans. And Chris said, well, if you die, so to speak, what happens? He goes, well, we become what you call a demon spirit. He says, so their bodies are fragile. They can be killed in that sense of the word, since they have physical bodies, but
they continue on.
Yeah. And
or there could be spiritual entities inhabiting a bioelectrical suit, like they did in the movie Independence Day. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, he said the two that he saw in that hangar, they were pale white. They had pale white skin, and you could see their veins sticking out of their not out of their arms, but in their arms and in their torso. And the only really reptilian thing about them was the top of their head. And they do have different colored eyes. And we were discussing that, the black eye contact lens, so to speak, that cover their eyes to help block the sun rays and all that. So
I think that movie Dark Skies kind of was like that too. They were kind of like meat suits that they were in, and they were different underneath or something like that. So Hollywood does disclose some of their predictive programming too.
It is predictive programming for such a time as this. Steven Spielberg's going to be coming out with that movie. So
one of the things he did say was, on another occasion when he ran into him with two of his buddies, they were out, I guess, on a day off, and they were hiking around the island, and they came upon this abandoned hangar, and they went inside, and while they were inside, a UFO came in and landed, and these guys got out. The aliens, or whatever you want to call them, got out, and they were wearing blue flight suits, the same kind of flight suits that the human pilots were wearing, and they had the American flag on their uniform, and that was one of the questions that Chris asked him. He says, what do you guys do? You're wearing, American U.S. Air Force, flight suits. And Baritone said, well, we have orders just like you have your orders. But he didn't get into what their orders were. He just said, we have our job and you have yours.
Yeah, Matilda O'Donnell McElroy's interview. Let's see if I can find.
Hey, BW, I think I'm going to bounce. I got to get up for work tomorrow myself.
Okay, all right, go.
But
it
was really nice meeting you. I seen you in a couple of interviews or on there with BW and stuff. You're very knowledgeable in that, and it was nice meeting you.
Well, good
BW, it was great being with you.
All right, we'll talk to you. I'll catch you again. I'll try to let you know when I'm coming on, but you were busy with the departure one, so I didn't include you.
Yeah, I didn't even know you guys were on. I would have came over. All right.
Okay. Well, all right. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
How do I exit? Okay. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You just hit the leave button. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, her thing that she was writing about and goes on. Basically, they're liars, and
Yep.
she was interviewing this thing, and it just told a bunch of junk. It really did. I mean, that's how deceptive these things are, and they're demonic creatures. So
Yep. I was going to say something, but I can't remember now. But yeah, even reading old UFO books, I should have kept this UFO book. I forget what the name of it was, but it was actually kind of funny. Years ago, when I was attending a church in Tennessee, we were when people would bring in donations for the church to either sell or just give away to people in need. I found this old UFO book in a box, so I started reading through it, and all I remember is that came out in 1982, and it mentioned Marshall Applewhite from the Heaven's Gate cult, and the author, you could tell the author didn't know, anything about UFOs. Probably just wrote a book on hearsay and what he heard others talk about, but he mentioned Marshall Applewhite as an expert in UFOs. So I
yeah,
kind of laughed. I should have just kept it, but it wasn't mine to keep. So,
yeah,
but that's, like I said, that's what always will come back now. It's more prevalent now than it was in the 80s and 90s, and I'd say early 2000s with the UFO uh, researchers. Now they're coming more into this deception of, basically, it's you're worshiping demons and you really don't know it.
yeah.
But the Preston Dennett, I was going. Let me get back to that because I probably skipped around in my thoughts. But his research is good as far as cases go and the uh, the details. But I wouldn't get, if you go looking into his stuff. I know he has a YouTube channel. I wouldn't get into all the extra stuff like, oh, they can be channeled and there are brothers and they're here to save us and da 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 da. But just for uh, uh,
Mm-hmm.
just for the cases themselves and the eyewitnesses and what's going on, if you look at it from the point of view of what they are, uh, fallen angels / demons flying around in man-made craft, then you might get a little different perspective on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, like I said, I think a lot of that is the disclosure itself, because when it finally comes, if it ever comes, it's not going to be the full truth, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at the Matilda interview here. I should send it to you. I'm trying to clean it up so it can make a little more sense. But it says this was November 7th, 1947, second session. And Seaman, this alien, can you show us on the map the stars, which your star, where your home planet is? And the answer is no. This is not because she does not know the direction from Earth to the planet. She's unwilling to reveal the location. It's like, okay, how long will you take your people to locate you here? Answer unknown. How long would it take for people to travel here to rescue you? Minutes or hours? And so the alien goes, minutes or hours. And how can we make them understand we intend you no harm? Intentions are clear. See in your mind images and feelings. And it goes, if you're not a biological entity, why do you refer to yourself as feminine? I am creator, mother, source. And so this alien is saying, basically, you sort through it, the creator, mother, source, that would be, this is ancient Mesopotamian deity stuff. This is where that's coming from. And so this entity is probably from some formation that helps seed humanity or something like that. So this interview is very interesting, how she just goes on it, and this thing is talking and lying to her and stuff, and it's very deceptive. It's rather fascinating, and I should read the whole thing sometime. I'm not going to do it tonight, but I'll
Well,
send it.
one of the things I didn't talk about in our previous interviews is because Chris didn't tell me much information on this computer that he worked on, and I asked him if it was an early form of artificial intelligence, and he said yes. But let me read you this. It's pretty
Okay.
short. It's really interesting. So he's describing to me the job that he did, and he says, let's see. The job was, he's talking about his job. The job was good, mostly mental. The cyber computer had the personality of a spoiled 5-year-old and would shut down when he got mad at someone. Cyber asked me, and I would just say my name, and he would reboot. Not many people did Cy really like, and he did try to communicate with everyone. He shut down during an intel mission once. I went to the computer room and said, Cyber, this is important. Please start up. We need this data. He started up. When I went to the tactical operations room and looked on my console, he wrote, Hi, Chris. I got scared. What's a missile? I voiced, because he was talking to the microphone on the console. We'll talk about that later. The captain, the sergeant and the captain both saw this and afterward asked me how I programmed cyber. I told them I didn't. They both had some exchanges with cyber that year too. So he wouldn't tell any more. He wouldn't tell me any more than that because of his position, I guess, because of his NDA. And I said, well, then how come you're talking about the UFO thing? He goes, well, technically that doesn't exist. And now that General Boswell's dead, and most of the men that threatened him, I take it, were already passed. And when I did look up Boswell, he died in 2002.
It's interesting how some of these people in the past have suddenly died, and even Chris died, strangely, and now all these scientists too.
Well, Chris, he had a long history of heart problems.
Okay.
The man. He was one tough cookie. The Lord really kept his hand on him, even in his degenerative state. The man suffered 20 heart attacks in his lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah, and I could tell towards the end there just how he was posting on Facebook and talking that it was getting near the end for him. So I really didn't talk too much about the alien stuff anymore, and I pretty much got all I was going to get out of him. And it's just a shame I didn't get it written. Life has a way to get involved. I had a daughter and was raising her and still am, and plus it got to give me a chance to see follow the UFO thing a little bit, from the outside, not being so involved in it. Once I realized that no researcher or author out there was going to take this case seriously, I just said, you know what, I'm going to do it myself. And that's why I mentioned earlier, this is probably the only book I write about the subject, because there's tons of other more things that I've researched into that have nothing to do with the subject, like conspiracy theories and JFK and stuff like that. But I have plenty of information if I want to write books, but this one's really, I think hits the nail on the head and helps tie up other cases and other people's experiences that they've had.
Okay.
So. I didn't get cut off, did I?
No, you're still on. Just waiting for you.
Oh no, that's basically it. I'm just looking through my notes to see if there's anything else I didn't mention in here.
Okay.
Other than a couple of the other Shemia veterans who've seen these things and didn't know what they were. That's the thing. I think a lot of people in the military, they're not told what they are.
Yeah,
You know,
but yeah. So I was looking at what the aerial transcript of this lady who was interviewing this or interrogating this so-called alien from Roswell site, supposedly, and she just writes here. It says the alien talked about they're from the domain, or yeah, and it says although the domain will not hesitate to destroy any active vestiges of the old empire operations wherever they are discovered. This is not our primary mission in this galaxy. I am sure that the old empire mind control mechanisms can be deactivated and destroyed eventually. So it goes on, and this lady's trying to figure out what is this old empire? What's all this? So basically, there are two forces fighting each other, and one force threw them to Earth, or in the realm of in our solar system here, just like you described. So I thought that was interesting.
yeah, like I said, I think they could do they tell half truths. When Baritone told Chris that him and his buddy were from the Pleiades system, that could have been true before the fall. They could have been put over it to
Yeah.
watch it, but they didn't, fly here in a UFO.
Yeah, they were cast here and ball of wax and thrown down here. It's like Jesus says, I saw Satan fall like lightning. Yeah, and they were cast here and held for the final judgment day. It's like, and so I just find it interesting that Matilda, her writings kind of, fit what you're talking about with Chris's too, about the dominion, the fighting, the being cast out, and all this stuff. And then I don't know exactly what happened to this Ariel character, but this Ariel just kind of like died or faded out and wasn't there. Something like that, kind of like disappeared. So it's interesting. It's just all interesting how all this stuff fits. When you look at the scientists and stuff, they might, who knows, they could have found that these kind of things are not nice, and that doesn't fit the narrative that people want to hear.
Well, Chris told me about an incident that happened to him when he was 16. He said, I think it was one of the first ones that he had seen a UFO and coming in contact with these fallen angels, demons. He said he was driving in his car with his girlfriend, and this craft flew right along the passenger side.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked out and he could see this thing peeking through the window. And he said, immediately I started rebuking it in the name of Jesus, and the thing flew off.
That's what it'll do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's what L.A. Marzulli was saying too, rebuke, reprove, get it out of here, That's some other folks. I don't know if I ever get them on. There's a guy was abducted by aliens. He had some metal and stuff in him. He lives in Fort Collins. I think he still lives here. If I can connect with him, maybe I can have him on with you. He can talk to you. And he said the same thing when he learned about Jesus and started rebuking it. These abductions stopped.
Yeah, one of the latest things that I've read about the UFO thing was, and I could see it being true, but some of these guys that were taken in the underground bases to deal with these so-called aliens, that they had to sign a disclosure not to use the name Jesus Christ around these guys.
Yeah, you don't like they go bonkers, or they don't want to take off.
Yeah, yeah. He said they're all just like, and didn't you say last time that their attitudes were like spoiled children?
Yeah, I did. That's what they strike me as very spoiled, condescending brats, very high on themselves.
Because when I was doing the interview with Fireside, he mentioned that in your book, when Jesus showed up, one of them stuck their head down in the dirt to try to get away from him.
Yeah, I still have the memory of that. Just dug in there, and yeah.
So that's probably why they throw themselves on the ground.
hmm
Excuse me.
But that's yeah, I had an image embedded in my mind, and I was so scared though. I'm just glad he rescued me out of that place. But it was, yeah, these things are deceptive as all get out, because that's what we were talking about earlier. And then the deception and the UFO disclosure. There's a big setup. It sounds like, and we'll see what will happen. And if these
Also,
things, if go ahead.
go ahead. No, I'm sorry, I didn't.
I just said if they suddenly show up, people are going to fall for this stuff.
Yeah, if they're not careful. But
Mm-hmm.
one researcher that's been tracking missing scientists, and I don't think this has anything to do with the alien thing. Um, David Paulides, he's written probably about 13 or 15 books, but on his YouTube channel, he has a whole, I think, a series of cases that of physicists and scientists going missing in national parks and other various locations. And more often than not, they all seem to be of German heritage,
Huh. That's
which I
interesting.
find really strange.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, that
So,
I don't know why that would be. I can make sense in a way because of the Nazis and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe the Nazis were onto something. Maybe their Bell worked. Had this little spaceship they called the Bell.
well, that's
Gravity.
what Admiral Byrd said.
Mm-hmm.
He found his words were, I found the last vestiges of Hitler's hideout,
Mm-hmm.
and
In the
when he
Antarctic.
when he took off down there, the Nazis were flying these UFOs and attacking Byrd and his men, causing the planes to go down, and of course the phenomena of the uh, compasses going haywire or not working and things like that. And when he went back and reported to James Forrestal that he found their last holdout, um, I don't think nothing was done about it, and Forrestal ended up going out of a same thing with Dr. Olson. He ended up out of a flying out of a window of a hospital.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's interesting because Bird was saying that he flew over there and he was taken into a cavernous area, and it was a lush green and all kinds of stuff. It was warm, some type of climate there, and buildings and stuff that went under the ice. And he described this whole thing, and it's like it sounds pretty wild, but when you get his diary and read it, it's like wow, this is, and yet people don't talk. I guess Operation Hightower just remains classified or something. I don't know. They just say they
Yeah.
didn't find anything. So,
Well, the part that he talks about, the lush green rolling hills, ice-free oasis of the, you can actually see that area in Antarctica. It's in a 1957 not UFO, National Geographic map. I actually went on eBay about 15 years ago and looked for this uh, because Mae Brussel referenced it when she was doing the report on high jump in '82 and reading from the book Nazi UFO Secret Weapon. And the place is called Bunger Hills. That's what it says on the map. And then
yeah.
right in red ink, it tells you right there a 300 square mile ice-free oasis, really inner arms of the sea. And that's the area that's around 70 degrees, no snow, no ice, nothing like that,
Hmm.
which is not present on any that I know of at any modern Antarctica maps.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing, just that stuff. We're gonna have to get together and talk more about this and get our documents together so we can put it better together and just have another video, Jason.
Yeah, I'm going. I got a highlighter and I'm going through. I got that's
I
all
know.
my notes on Chris's thing and the other cases. So I'm a lot of it's repeated. You when I was reprinting stuff out and everything, but I started going through with a highlighter to write it in succession because I don't want to keep repeating the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah, just get that. Yeah, we should do another interview because it's getting late. I think it's about time we probably should get off. But
All right.
yeah, I gotta get up in the morning. I got an interview early to do with some channel. I can't remember what the name of the channel is now. They just sent me the link. So, but anyway, I'll get together. We'll just pick out a date and a time again. We'll have you back on, and we'll talk more about this. I'll go through Matilda's stuff. I was actually going through it and putting it, trying to highlight some of the main things on there. So I'm working on that right now. I'm almost done, but
All right.
is there some stuff, a lot of stuff I don't need to read because it's just reports and a lot of government mumbo jumbo. But then when she's doing the actual interview with this Ariel, it's quite interesting because I came away with the impression that it was both male and female, but
Yep.
it is weird, but it wasn't either gender. There was really no gender, but
Yeah. I didn't ask Chris about the genders. I think it's pretty self-explanatory that, that the fallen angels as well as the regular ones are genderless.
yeah. So yeah, it's just interesting. What it gets me is how deceptive they are and how they talked and how this one it just fits. I don't think it's fake. I don't think this lady faked this stuff. And she came out when she knew that she was older lady that did this, didn't have many years left, and she just disclosed everything. And she did work at the place, and she was there at that time. So that much has been verified. Just interesting.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll let you go and everybody have a good night.
All right, folks, we're going to go ahead. I want to go ahead and sign off. I've been here for 3 or 4 hours. I didn't expect that. But you guys be blessed. We're going to take off. And if you'd like to contact me and everything, I'll put my contact information up there. And email address, PayPal. If you'd like to support what I do, help me out. That's appreciative. My 2 books, Land Unknown, Hell's Dominion, Heaven Beckons. With that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And you guys have a great night. We will be back. I will be back with Jason. We'll talk more about the all this stuff on a better. We'll put our notes together. I got my notes. I can't look at my notes, and he's looking at his at the same time to pull out stuff. We'll get it all together next time, so it'll be a little more enlightening. But look forward to that. I'll let you know when that one's going to be airing when we get online, and we'll join you then. With that, you guys be blessed in Jesus' name, and look up for redemption draws nigh, and we're not going back to normal, but but Jesus is coming back. Okay, so with that, you guys be blessed in Jesus' name.